O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show. You're tuned in to the hottest sports radio.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Offense to the heat, well, you know what I mean.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty. Good morning, boys and girls. You made it. It is a Friday. You get the weekend off. Hell, we get the weekend off. How about that, Sean? Anyway, welcome aboard. Coming to you live, baby, from Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Our home away from home twice a month. And appreciate all of you out there, as always, for supporting us. Let me see something here. We got I don't know. Did I screw it up or what? You got a little bit more of the hat in there? Okay, there we go. Because it was taking off the top of the Perdomo hat there. You can't take off the top of the Perdomo hat there, man. Come on. Part of the Perdomo army here on the show. So appreciate all of you out there as always. Appreciate, I know we're in a little earlier than normal. We've got such a long list of guests today on the program. So appreciate, I got a lot of things that I want to talk about. Obviously, I see Triana goes, good morning. Had to spread the knowledge of ESPN's YouTube about Flo that anyone who was surprised about the move just hasn't been listening to the right show. Hopefully that's finally changed. It's Marcel Jacques Louis, who works for ESPN. And, this has been the problem with this story. I mean, overall, what's going on with the Dolphins? There's a lot of people talking about the Dolphins, and they have really no idea what the hell they're talking about. You know what I mean? And so that's the problem. And I know some of you may listen to local radio, and then they bring on people like Mike Lombardi, who has zero credibility, a guy that throws out all kinds of stories that have been wrong in the past. Um, he doesn't have insight like he claims. I know, I get it. They don't have many people they can bring on QAM, so they've got to bring on the same people over and over again. And then, you bring on the Florio guy that really does not know anything that's going on. So, and some of you end up listening. It's kind of like Facebook. In a way, QAM is a lot like Facebook. They really don't work at it. They know nothing. And then they actually don't have really good connections to bring people on and give you insight. And so then they put stuff on that is just, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, some of you get suckered and you're listening to that crap. And it's a shame, because I get it. They got good people over there working, but they're stuck in a rut that they have no resources. And so it's a shame. But, we told you here for a while now that Flo was walking around that building and not communicating and not and treating people like crap and acting like Matt Patricia and Josh McDaniels and all that. And now it's coming all out now, right? And you know how I kept telling you guys that the streak has nothing to do with it, and it has nothing to do with Flo. Some of you out there that are very short-sighted on all of this, you keep like giving Flo some kind of credit like he's this amazing coach, and it's really wrong on every level. And Marcel Jacques Louis, that I give him credit, he got a little nugget. He that Flo wasn't communicating to his team since Thanksgiving. He wasn't telling his coaches what was going on, meetings, whatever, nothing. So they were winning and they weren't communicating. So it's funny for those of you that keep thinking like Flo is something special. I hope somebody else hires him right away so I can laugh my ass off at that team and then, have fun with whatever fan base, anybody that I may know of that fan base, and tell them, well, you guys are idiots. And that's the problem that's going on here. You have way too many people that, because they got the story wrong, they're still trying to paint Flo into a picture that he's not. And the only place in the entire country that told you exactly what Flo was behind the scenes was right here. No magazine, no newspaper, no television, no radio, no other podcast. No one else told you what was going on except right here, where we told you he was running roughshod through the building, where we told you that he was acting like Matt Patricia and Josh McDaniels. And if what Marcel Jacques Louis is reporting, that Flo wasn't even communicating to his own coaching staff by Thanksgiving, from Thanksgiving on, that's all you need to know about the dysfunction that is Brian Flores. Not the team. I know they get labeled it because that's what they've had forever. I get it. They can't shed that label until they win. So they're going to be lumped in there. But the guy that was dysfunctional was the guy that thought he could actually win with Jacoby Brissett. The guy that's dysfunctional is the guy that had Jalen Phillips dropping back in coverage. The guy that's dysfunctional doesn't play Matt Collins. The guy that's dysfunctional doesn't play Mike Gesicki enough. The guy that's dysfunctional thinks Malcolm Brown should have been his starting running back. Okay? So, I mean, whatever, all of you out there, it's just, I laugh at people that are just commenting on stuff and they know nothing about what's going on with the team. Zero. See, at least with Marcel, I could tell he got a nugget that really matters. That's a nugget there that I know because it goes along with what my information is. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm just taking a guess. Did I say information? No, I was just guessing.
I heard guess.
I'm just guessing. That's it. What were you going to say, by the way?
They were 5-1. They were on a 2-game winning streak when he stopped talking to them. Maybe if he would have started the season that way.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a really good point. If Brian Flores never even talked to his team, we might have had a second undefeated season.
It was there for the taking.
I'm telling you. Sean's onto something. He's onto something there.
Maybe him not communicating is a good thing.
I mean, he's onto something there. I got to tell you. I mean, they were winning without the coach talking to his coaches.
And those coaches apparently got better without him talking to them.
Well, the CamFlow nickname just goes even better every day, dude. Every day, the CamFlow thing just goes better. Antonio says, Big O, I love your show, but I disagree with you about Flow. Bro, you can disagree with me all you want. You're just dead wrong. I don't really care if you disagree with me. I don't give a rat's ass. I'm glad you love the show, but, if you want to disagree with reality, you can go ahead and disagree with reality. That's fine. What, you disagree 2 months ago when I was saying he should be fired? What are you disagreeing with? That he can't communicate? That he's really not a good coach? What are you disagreeing about? Oh, Lordy. Gotta love that. Cobra Kai Season 4 finished it yesterday. Great season. Kind of disappointed with ending at least some storylines to continue the storyline. Yeah, well, they're signed on the next year. I've only watched 2 episodes so far. I'll probably finish it this weekend. I'll probably go binging this weekend because I'm off Saturday and Sunday. I mean, I got 2 meetings after this, which, by the way, hopefully we'll finalize a new show that we're adding. And I got a long day today, but once I get home and I relax, I think the wife and I are going to finish out Cobra Kai. Yes, sir.
I was done with it on December 31st. First day, I sat right through it.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yes.
Were you like him? Were you kind of disappointed with the ending?
I wasn't, because I think it did extend the storyline. It's just not a storyline that maybe a lot of people either want or that you're not thinking about right away.
Okay. All right.
So,
okay.
I've been doing a little digging on the Cobra Kai stuff. So
okay. Does Elizabeth Shue come back? No? God, I was such a huge... I'm an enormous Elizabeth Shue fan. Like back in the day, like, The Saint and all that kind of stuff. I find her just absolutely gorgeous. One of those deals when she was doing, like, back in the day when she was. Oh, you missed it? She does come back. Okay, good. It's always like seeing a little Elizabeth Shue. Nothing wrong with seeing a little Elizabeth Shue every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Ralph Macchio's daughter? His real daughter? Oh, okay. All right. Not the annoying daughter that he has on the show. Because she's kind of annoying, by the way. She's kind of annoying.
She's opposite of Danielle LaRussa, right?
Yes.
She would be...
No, she is kind of...
Well, no, she would be Lawrence in this instance, I believe.
She's
in the storytelling. She is...
But she's kind of LaRusso, uptight, kind of,
But with the personality of...
Yeah.
She doesn't have that Daniel LaRussa Karate Kid personality.
No. But still, it's just... She's kind of like a whiny brat, dude. There's a part of her, it's just like... She's kind of annoying. It's just one of those things. Anybody ever watch Major Crimes? Remember if anybody watched Major Crimes, which, by the way, is an underrated show because it's got all kinds of characters. I actually enjoyed that show. But the son that she adopts, that kid is, oh my God, that kid is annoying. Holy crap. That was the only thing about that show that was kind of, there was just like, at times it was like too much of that kid. You know what I'm saying? All right, enough of major crimes. The bigger major crime is we got a lot of idiots talking about the Dolphins and they have no idea what they're talking about. That's it. Now, let me give you a little insight, a little nugget. Let me guess on something going on with the Dolphins. Okay, because that's what we do on the show. We're going to guess about something going on with the Dolphins. I'm adjusting my guess because I thought maybe, they would get this done by the Senior Bowl. I'm guessing that it's not going to happen by the Senior Bowl. I'm guessing there's some serious candidates that the Dolphins are looking at that are in the playoffs. And so it all depends on how long those serious candidates survive in the playoffs, is what I'm guessing, on how long this process will end up taking. So keep an eye on the playoffs. Keep an eye on teams that, as they get eliminated, it might hurry the process up. I'm just guessing. Okay? So that's all we do here on the show. We only guess that Chris Grier will get hired as general manager. We only guess about Javon Holland. Okay? We only guess these kind of things. We only guess the firing of Brian Flores. It's just things that we do here on the show. We only guess.
Now I'm asking your best guess on this one.
Okay.
Does this affect anything? Like with the Senior Bowl, with them coaches going out there?
No.
Does that
no, because they'll continue their scouting is what they're doing. Since they're not coaching the teams anyways, they'll just continue their scouting. And I think it's kind of like what I told you before. I don't think they're going to hire a coach that is going to have the kind of power they've had in the past with personnel. It's a coach that's going to have to work with the personnel department, and that's how it's going to be from here on out. And I think the mistake was already made with Gase and now with Flo, and I think they're not going to make the mistake the third time around. So one regime made the mistake with Gase. This regime made the mistake with Flo. This regime, luckily, will get the second chance to correct that issue. So that's why I don't think it's that imperative, because it's not like the guy that's going to get hired, I believe, is going to have the kind of power that they've had in the past with personnel, which is the right thing to do. But keep an eye on the NFL playoffs, because the coaching search may get a little extended because of the playoffs. So the Dolphins may not have a head coach in place during the East-West Shrine, during the NFLPA game, or even during the Senior Bowl. There's a good chance they may not even have a coach named at that point in time, because one of their candidates, I guess, might be in the playoffs. I guess. Just guessing. It's all we do here on the show. Okay? John Dirksmeyer says, enough of the sucking. No, I'm sorry. It's a Neil Rogers thing. He says, enough of hiring coordinators. Go out and get Peterson before the Senior Bowl. Did he just listen to me? It's just like, John, did you just hear what I just said? And you just, okay, regardless, whatever he's guessing, I say, go out and get Peterson right now. We got the Peterson army out there. Yeah. Go get Peterson. A bunch of you want Peterson. Did you guys get that on Facebook? We should give Tom Olivedati a second chance, tongue in cheek. You don't fire Flores unless you have a better plan in mind. Harbaugh. Well, Andy, I hope that's not the plan, my brother. God. No, Andy, no. No Harbaugh, my brother. Please. No Harbaugh.
If it is, Ross has been watching way too much wrestling.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I would hire John Harbaugh in a heartbeat. Jim Harbaugh, I want nothing to do with that flake. Okay? That guy belongs with kids. He doesn't belong with men. It's just not going to fly. Thomas says, Big O, anyone interviewing for the head coaching job say they don't think that Tua as an NFL QB moving forward has a real chance at landing the job. Just asking. Thomas, I get you're repeating everything that everybody else is saying. Okay, I understand all of that. Let's stop being Captain Obvious here. That's not a subject anymore. The decision has been made. It was either Flo or Tua. Flo's gone. It's either Flo or Gesicki. Flo's gone. Okay? That's just the way it is. So they made their decision. They believe in the quarterback, and they're going to build around the quarterback. It's an obvious. That's how it's going to roll. And I have no problem with that as long as you build the line and you get a running game, and you're going to see this year they're going to get a running back because the guy they had in place was like, no, running backs are a dime a dozen. Watch them now get a running back. That's it. You'll see. They'll get a running back now, and they'll beef up that line, and you're going to see a completely different quarterback. I get it. Those of you that are not convinced that Tua's the guy, you don't want Tua. You think Flo is right. You think Greer is wrong. You think Ross is wrong. So you think whoever they hire is the wrong coach because they believe in Tua. So your narrative is already set. Your agenda's already set. Your opinion's already set in place. You're not going anywhere. You're not moving off that spot. We get it, Thomas. You're not a Tua guy. So you're just going to go around the whole agenda about the coach and the team and the quarterback and all that. I got it, bro. I play chess. You understand? I've been a long time chess player. So I'm usually thinking 8 moves ahead. So I totally understand where you're coming from, Thomas. You're on the chat board every day, my brother. I know what your agenda is. It's like my man Steve from the Sun Sentinel. He's ready to pounce on any of my tweets, and I'm not even talking to him about it. But whatever I tweet out, it's right. We were tweeting out something about Flo, and he came at me with Tua last night, and it was like, yo, dude, I'm not even talking about Tua. But I get some of you've developed this like Tua dislike, hate. You're uncomfortable with the kid. You're uneasy with him. You don't believe. And it's like it's ignited this. I don't know what it is, man. It's ignited this cloud of negativity from people. And, the Thomas Jensens of the world are the ones. All right. Give me 30 seconds right here on the program. And we will have a special guest right here on the Big O Radio Show.
South Florida's premier law enforcement agency is now hiring individuals like you. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department is now accepting applications for non-certified and certified police officer positions. Minimum requirements and qualifications can be found at flpdjobs.com. That's flpdjobs.com. Are you ready? The city of Fort Lauderdale is an equal opportunity employer.
All right, there he is. Officer Eric Perez from the Fort Lauderdale Police Department. Officer, how you doing, my brother? You doing all right?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good. You're in one of the vehicles and everything. I like it. My brother. I like it. There you go. All right. So first of all, thank you to the Fort Lauderdale Police Department. On behalf of Sean and all the people on our show, thank you for teaming up with us and building this partnership. And I'm really excited to see where we go from here and doing live shows with all of you out there. So first of all, I want to thank you guys for the support and the love, because you guys are fans too. You're watching the show and you support the show. So that's really kind. Thank you.
Yeah. We're really excited. We're really looking forward to the partnership with the Big O Show and everything that you bring to the table. Cause, Like you said, we have a lot of fans that listen to the show that have been following you for a very long time, and we're all excited for the partnership with your program.
Looking forward to it. So, what do you want for head coach, man? What do you want for the Dolphins? Since when you were coming on here, that was one of the subjects that we were talking about. What do you want for the Dolphins?
Well, it's funny because I told you before I'm a Jets fan.
Yeah.
So lifelong Jets fan. Don't hold it against me, but so of course I don't want a coach that's going to do extremely well. Because you can do it.
You want to sabotage us, huh? You want to?
Yeah. You can do extremely well.
You want us to rehire Adam Gase, is what you're saying, right?
Well, just as long as the Jets win the head-to-head matchups, then I'm good. But I mean, I guess there's the two main guys that I think would be potential, coaches, and I'm sure they already know who they want in the. In the position, but Doug Peterson and Maxwell, Caldwell,
right?
I think are the two main ones, and I think Caldwell would be a good fit.
Experience,
and they're both
you're
very experienced.
You're on the experience side too. Okay,
right. I love the experience. They've been to the Super Bowls already, which is the ultimate goal of any team is to achieve a championship. So they already have that experience, and not only just experience coaching, but experience in coaching in the biggest game and of the season. So, they both have a lot of things to bring to the table. So it's going to be interesting who they choose. And, like I always say, especially here at the police department as well, it's like any organization, you have to bring somebody into the organization that's going to fit well into the organization.
Sure.
You don't want to bring somebody in that's going to shake up things too much where it's going to affect the morale of the organization. It's somebody also that the players have to respect. So, somebody that can come in, demand respect for the players, and not just be a terrific coach, because we all know that, the head coach always gets all the glory, but it's the other people that work with him, the assistant coaches, the other staff that's there. So it's more important that we can get a coach that can build an organization around him and leaders around him, because the head coach can only do so much. You need a good quarterbacks coach. You need a good line coach. You need a good defensive coach. So somebody that can bring in the best talent in all those areas, and that's how they're going to build the organization and be successful. So whatever coach is going to have the opportunity to do that and lead the team, that's what they really need, and that's what every organization really needs.
Well, I got to say, you're about the most objective Jet fan I've ever seen in my life. Because, dude, it's not like you said, hey, go hire some clown. You said, Jim Caldwell, like me. You believe like me that you got to go get an experienced guy. So, at least you're hoping that the Dolphins give stiff competition with a guy like Jim Caldwell. So I like that. I like that you're leaning in the right direction there. All right, so go ahead.
I'm kind of like a little weird, because of course I'm a Jets fan, but I live in Florida, so my kids are Dolphins fans.
Right.
So, and it's not really like the house divided. Of course, I want the Jets to win when they go head to head. But, anytime the Dolphins are playing, I'm rooting for the Dolphins because, ultimately, of course, I live down here and I want every team down here to win a championship, of course.
Sure.
But, so I want what's best for them, of course. So it's
That
not like
makes
all, yeah.
Makes sense.
I spread the love evenly.
Yeah. Exactly. There's pots and pans they're harmless.
Yeah.
We celebrate the right way down here, bro. We don't turn over cars and do all kinds of crazy stuff like in other cities. And by the way, I'm proud of that, of our fans. We've had all kinds of championships. We never get out of control in any of our championship. I'm sure you guys end up arresting 2 or 3 idiots, because there's always 2 or 3 idiots in every bunch. But when we see like what happened in Philadelphia and in other places that they're tearing up, I'll give our fans credit, dude. Whether the Canes win it, the Marlins, the Heat win it, it doesn't matter, man.
Yeah.
We actually party the right way. So that's actually a good thing for you, by the way.
Yeah, very good thing. Very good thing.
By the way, you guys are hiring now, right? And we've been mentioning it a lot that the Fort Lauderdale Police Department is hiring now. What do people have to do to find out about whether they're certified or uncertified? Because obviously this show is being watched all over the world, but all over the country right now. Maybe we've got officers in Chicago or New York or maybe out west in Portland, where maybe they want to get treated a little better down here in Florida, where we take care of our police officers. So tell us a little bit about that.
So great question. Right now we are hiring. The best resource that we have is our website, of course, flpdjobs.com. And we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook under Fort Lauderdale PD. But ultimately, right now, we're accepting applications for our certified positions. And a certified officer means somebody that's been to a police academy. Doesn't necessarily have to mean that you're certified in the state of Florida. Like you said, Chicago and New York. Like, if you're a certified officer in Chicago, you're working for the NYPD or whatever agency, you're a certified officer. You're allowed to apply with us. And if we hire an officer from out of state, we would hire them. They get a higher starting salary based on their years of experience. And then we would send them to the equivalency of training class, which is roughly a 1 week, 2 week class where they don't have to go to a full academy, a full 6-month academy again, because they've already been to one. They go to a 2 week class. They focus on high liability areas, and then they take the Florida state officer exam. And once they pass that, then they're a certified officer in the state of Florida. So that's a very lucrative thing to offer, because most agencies in Florida require you to get certified in the state of Florida first before they'll even hire you. So we're one of the only ones. I don't know of any other agency that doesn't. I think we're really the only one, but I can't say that 100%. That will hire somebody from out of state, accept that certification as long as FDLE, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, accepts it, and we'll send them to the EOT class, the equivalency of training class. So that's huge. But with that being said, for people that have to go to the academy and the non-certified officers, if you're looking to become a police officer, you're looking for what they say is like a sponsorship to the academy. We would hire somebody, and the way it works in Broward County, you have to go take a swim test, physical agility test, and a written exam, and then you're allowed to apply for any police department in Broward County. Once you apply with us, if we put you through the process, you do the polygraph, the psychological, the medical, and the interview, then we would offer you the position, and then we would send you to the police academy. So not only are we paying for the police academy for you, but we're also giving you your full starting salary while you're in the academy, which is roughly around $63,000 right now while you're just going to school Monday through Friday, weekends off. You don't have to live there. So it's a really big deal, and it's a really great deal. And it's one of those things, like you said, with, I think you said it a few days ago about Tua, right? Where Tua is, and I'm a fan of Tua. I really like Tua. But one of the things that you said was they have to build a team around Tua. You can't expect Tua to be the Superman to accomplish everything if he doesn't have a good line, he doesn't have good running backs, he doesn't have, good tight ends. You have to build a team around the quarterback if you want them to be successful. Yep. And I remember you saying that, you could be the best quarterback in the world, but if you're in a system that is not built for success, you're going to fail. It's like putting Jimmy Johnson in like an economy rental car and expecting him to go win a NASCAR title. It's not going to happen. You got to put him in the fastest race car possible. And, that's one of the things that we do here is the culture in Fort Lauderdale, the opportunities to progress, the opportunities to seek specialty units, whether you want to be a canine officer, ride a horse, ride the ATVs on the beach, SWAT team, all those different areas. We give you the tools to succeed here. And I think that's really special, with Fort Lauderdale in general, is that compared to most agencies, we have every specialty unit that people could be looking for. And it's, it's a great place to work. And I don't say that just because I'm the recruiter, because I did leave Fort Lauderdale at one time and I went to an agency in the state of Florida. And, it's one of those things where, and I always tell people, if you don't want to apply at Fort Lauderdale, I don't get offended. That's okay. Because every police department has a different culture and a different vibe. So you can go to 2 gyms. They both have cardio equipment. They both have weights. They both have a pool and a jacuzzi and a sauna. And you can go in one and say to yourself, I don't know what it is about this place, but I really don't, it's not for me. And then you can go to another gym and you're like, man, I don't know what it is about this place, but I really like it here. Right. And it could be something as like the front desk person saying hello and the other person ignored you, whatever it is. But, some places, you'll feel at home, and other places you won't. And it's nothing to say that the other gym doesn't have the best equipment and all this stuff. They could. Other agencies down here have amazing benefits, pay, equipment, cars, whatever it is that you're looking for. But with us, I just see that a lot more officers feel at home in Fort Lauderdale than they do at other agencies. And like you were saying with Chicago and New York, those are officers that are working in miserable conditions.
Yeah.
Most of them, their days off are canceled every week. They have to get mandated for overtime because they don't have enough officers working the street because so many have been leaving. So you have an officer working for 6 months that hasn't had a day off, hasn't done anything. And, we were lucky enough to be able to put a billboard in Chicago and New York, especially this time of year where it's like 5 degrees in those places. And they're looking at
that's ballsy. You guys put up a billboard in New York and Chicago. Well, I mean, the New York mayor is a freaking joke. I mean, what he's done to the officers there. I mean, I've seen some of that video that just enrages me. How people are allowed to treat officers. That to me is just disgusting. What's gone on in New York. So good for you guys that you put a billboard in New York. That is awesome.
So, I mean, it's and it was all over the news, like during Times Square, New Year's Eve. It was like,
oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on. I got a problem here, officer. Hold on. Hold on. If we get these New York cops to come over here, we got to convert them. They can't be Jet fans like you.
Well, most of them, as sad as it is, I'm like, that's the first question I ask them. I go, where are you coming from? They go, oh, I work in New York. I go, Jets or Giants? And that's all the first question. They say Giants. I'm like, we don't have places for you. You can't do it. No, but yeah, we definitely have to convert them. They have to come out.
We got to convert them. We got to convert. By the way, do we have you at least on the Heat bandwagon?
Oh yeah, I like the Heat.
Okay, there we go.
We still have LeBron, right? No, like the Heat. I do like the Heat. But same thing, like the coach, Spoelstra.
Oh, he's a monster. He's just so awesome. Talk about culture.
Right.
You know what I mean? Talk about what Riley and Spo and that whole and Arison, because obviously you don't build a culture without the ownership being involved in it. And Mickey Arison and the Arison family obviously are part of that culture.
Right.
So it's just all around. Officer Perez, before we let you go, tell the folks that if they're watching, listening anywhere in the country and they're thinking about, hey man, I'd rather move to a warmer climate in a great city like Fort Lauderdale and become an officer, what do they got to do to reach out to you to become a Fort Lauderdale police officer?
Yes, you can reach out to me. You can visit the website flpdjobs.com. The email's on there. But it's very easy. It's recruiter@fortlauderdale.gov, and Fort Lauderdale is spelled out FORT. You can email me. That's usually the best way to get a hold of me because I get the emails on my phone.
Sure.
If you want to call me, you can call either 954-828-3573, and 3573 spells out FLPD. Or you can call me on the direct line is 954-828-4791. But I have access to both of those, or you can reach out to us through the social media channels and I'll get a hold of people. But, right now it's a great opportunity for those people that are looking to go to the academy because the applications are not open. So they have a lot of time to gather their documents together. On the website, it goes over what we need with the initial application. We're also getting ready to open up our detention officer position. And we are also, I think that's gonna be it. I think we just closed some other positions, but detention is something that we're looking to push. It's a little different requirements than the police position. Police position, you got to be 21 years of age or older, have at least 60 college credits or 2 years of law enforcement experience or 2 years of military. Where our detention officer position is 19 years of age with a high school diploma or GED. So it's a great way to get your foot in the door. We're looking to, it's one of those positions where we would love to have more local applicants, people that were born and raised in either Broward, Miami-Dade, or Palm Beach County. We would love Fort Lauderdale, of course, but anybody from South Florida, it's an opportunity for a young person to get involved in law enforcement early on, get their foot in the door, and then they can always transition to patrol if they want to. They can stay in detention their whole lives. We don't mind that, but everybody can get a hold of me. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that they have. And then we'll just go from there. And hopefully, just like the Dolphins bringing in the best the best coaches and the best staff, hopefully we can recruit and hire the best officers. So that way we can, have an even better police department than what I think it already is.
You guys keep doing a great job there at the Fort Lauderdale Police Department. We are proud to have a great partnership with you guys, and we're going to keep growing it. Go to flpdjobs.com if you're interested in any of these great opportunities and a fantastic career in serving our community. Officer Perez, have a fantastic weekend, my friend. Thank you for taking some time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And I'm on board with Caldwell.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Caldwell and the Dolphins. No more Jets, okay?
Oh, and the Dolphins. Yeah, of course.
All right. You good. There you go. All right. That is Officer Eric Perez, who promises to convert any New York officers to Dolphin fans. That's very important. All right. We've already got him on the Heat bandwagon. Speaking of the Heat, Ira Winderman, baby. You know where we're at? We're at Acura Pembroke Pines. You know what's next? It's the Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat, an NBA report with Ira Winderman.
South Florida's premier law enforcement agency is now hiring individuals like you. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department is now accepting applications for non-certified and certified police officer positions. Minimum requirements and qualifications can be found at flpdjobs.com. That's flpdjobs.com. Are you ready? The city of Fort Lauderdale is an equal opportunity employer. Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All right, there he is, Ira Winderman. He's ready. No glasses, I'm sure. He was already. Oh no, he kept them on.
Actually, I'm still filing a story as we talk right now, Big O, about Mario Chalmers signing with the Heat G League affiliate. So I'm literally on my other computer screen right now. Just have that posted, and now I can come on and with my Clark Kent look again. There we are. Did I lose you, Big O?
It's okay. I think we got you now. I think we had a little bit of a fuzzy connection there. It's the internet. It happens every once in a while. You got me now, Ira?
I got you now, Big O. I'll just, you know me. I'll just keep talking no matter what. So anyway, like I was saying, I just posted a Mario Chalmers story. He signed with the Heat's G League affiliate just a few minutes ago. So he's serious about trying to get back in the NBA. Brandon Knight, who's trying to get back in the NBA, is rejoining the Skyforce. Look, these players can sign with any NBA team. There's no guarantee with the Heat that they'll bring them in. But you know what? It's nice to know you have that in the wings. Should something happen to Kyle Lowry, should you need a veteran point guard, you have them there. And it also shows the dedication to Mario, that this was not just I'm just going to try to jump in and get the glory and be back with the Heat, that he really wants to get back in the league. That said, he's 35. Erik Spoelstra said all the right things about trying to bring him back. But you know what? Sometimes, Big O, the train moves on, and you also have to accept that as well. So it's a nice little story. And if you happen to be in the neighborhood in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, I recommend you go out to the Stanford Pentagon, and you can watch Rio, and you can root for him there.
You know, but what I like is, I like the love behind it all, because he was your guy. He helped you. He was a good guy, not a bad guy. You know, he went through the injury, all that stuff. He's bounced around. You gave him. He came in to help you out in a pinch, and now you're helping him, giving him an opportunity because he still wants to play on your G League affiliate. So I kind of like the family affair to it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I'm glad that they've got his back. And by the way, James Chalmers is his cousin he works here at Acura Pembroke Pines, actually.
Perfect segue.
So yeah, so we're always talking now.
And you know what, Big O? And the Heat always take care of their own.
Right, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
The coach at Sioux Falls is Sid Powell, who had a cup of coffee with the team during that terrible 2007-2008 season where they got the draft rights to Michael Beasley after that. They gave Beasley 2 other chances to come back, once from China, to give him a chance. So, I mean, and look at the coaching staff. Malik Allen, former Heat player. Anthony Carter, former Heat player. Chris Quinn, former Heat player. Malik Allen, former Heat player. This really is familial. This team may be unlike the Dolphins and other teams. They never really lose their roots. Even Glenn Rice, who didn't play for Pat Riley, he was traded for Pat Riley the day Pat arrived. to get Alonzo Mourning. Pat brought him in as a team ambassador. He worked at the team's summer camp with Tony Fiorentino. So the one thing about the Heat, I will say this, they are familial. They do take care of their own. When you do right by the Miami Heat, whether it's announcers, John Crotty, Ruth Riley Hunter being with the Miami Soul, they take care of you down the road as well. Guy like Eric Reed's been here all 34 seasons. And that's sort of a nice thing that there is, you and I always refer to old Heat names and former players and the Grant Longs and Sherman Douglases and Ronnie Cycli. I do like that about the Heat. So many teams forget about their past. So many teams are like the Marlins, and they bring guys in as rentals, and you almost forget that they were here in the first place. This is a team going back to 1988, 89 from when they started. And I'll give you the perfect example before we get into the current. Ron Rothstein, still on halftime, still hitting the stop button there, still giving us highlights.
That's right.
That's the nice thing I like to see about franchises. I think the Dolphins have lost that to a degree. I love their Ring of Honor. I love that Joe and Kim Bocamper are still on the broadcast. But guys like you, O, who've been here your whole life, guys like me who've been here almost 40 years, you like to see that there's a bridge to the past, that your franchises have a history also. So I think that's a really nice thing. I think this Chalmers thing brings him full circle also. He's going to Sioux Falls. He'll be around. We'll hear a little more about him.
And by the way, props to the Panthers. They do some of that also, okay? So they're kind of developing that themselves too. If you look around their organization, they've had guys that have been part of their organization.
Absolutely. Billy Lindsay doing the broadcast, Randy Moeller being back. They bring back their guys, longtime announcer like Steve Goldstein. It's nice to see. I like that part of it. I like the company voice.
Jovo's been on too.
Yeah.
You know, they do a lot of that too. The Panthers are really good about taking care of their own. I think they've done their share of that. By the way, educate us on this. Anybody can be plucked away from the G League, right? From another team if it's kind of like the whole thing, as long as they put them on their 15-man roster. Is that
absolutely, except for your two-way contracts or guys you send down for seasoning. So in other words, Marcus Garrett and Caleb Martin are also listed with the Skyforce on 2 ways. They can't be plucked. And if the Heat were to send a Yurtseven, not that they're going to, or some young player down, they can't be plucked. And honestly, if Mario Chalmers gets a chance, the Heat would say, God bless you. Go play for the Clippers. Brandon Knight's the perfect example. Pinecrest, Fort Lauderdale kid, got a 10-day contract with the Dallas Mavericks. Remember Eric Spoelstra saying he couldn't have been happier. They were tracking him in Dallas. They like that also. The Heat do that. The Heat, if they realize they can't play someone and there's a better spot for someone, they wish them the best and they send them on their way. They've done that with a ton of assistant coaches. Pat Delaney, the former assistant coach here, is now going to coach the Washington Wizards because Wes Unseld Jr. is an NBA protocol. So they take care of their own also. You know, they're not, that proprietary. So that's nice to see. I agree, Big O.
Yeah, no, it's I just want to make sure so people know that outside of the two, and you can only have how many down there? 2, you mean? Only 2 two-way contracts.
Two-way contracts per team, and we're getting kind of close now because January 20th is the day you guarantee 2 ways. We know Caleb Martin's not going anywhere. I just wrote about him today in the Sun Sentinel as being this point guard defensive stopper. The other choice, a little interesting though, Marcus Garrett, have to guarantee him by January 20th. Or do you replace him with Kyle Guy and have a 3-point shooter on demand instead? So there is a little bit of a deadline brewing when it comes to G League and 2-way contracts also.
No doubt. All right. They got games back-to-back tonight. They host the Hawks. They visit the Hawks, right?
No, host the Hawks. Both home games,
That's right. Host the Hawks and then host the Sixers on back-to-back nights tonight. The Hawks, I'm not as concerned. But because you're not necessarily with all your top guys, how do you balance on a back-to-back night with these guys?
I'm really curious to see Eric Spoelstra's approach. I believe Jimmy Butler is close. I ran into him at the arena on Tuesday before
he would have played both anyways.
No, that's the thing.
So you're playing tomorrow night, not tonight.
If they time it, I would think you would look at Philadelphia as the tougher test, the fact you just beat Atlanta in Atlanta. So I think there's something to do with that. I wonder about Kyle Lowry on back-to-backs also. Eric Spoelstra is not going to go in and say, I'm playing this guy this game and not that guy that game, because you don't want to insult the Hawks. You don't want to tell the Hawks, we're not playing Jimmy because you're not good. That just fuels them. I also think, Big O, it comes down to minutes. If you were to blow out the Hawks, or heaven forbid, be blown out by the Hawks, then the guys might not play big minutes, and you might be able to play them in both games. Sixers are playing very well now. Joel Embiid has put himself into the MVP conversation with the way he's playing lately. So I think that is the tougher test. It's really interesting, though. And I spoke about this to you on our Accurate Pembroke Pines report this week on Tuesday. We also spoke about it with Clay on our hour-long Inside the Paint show brought to you by Sloman Home Shield. When we talked about that, the Hawks last season, the Heat played them on a Sunday, blew the Hawks out. On Monday, the Hawks fired Lloyd Pierce. On Tuesday, they hired Nate McMillan and blew out the Heat. Well, all of a sudden now, the Hawks were humiliated at home by the Heat on Wednesday night. And that was without Jimmy. That was without Bam Adebayo. All of a sudden, I'm flying home yesterday on Thursday, and they trade Cam Reddish in basically a giveaway deal for Kevin Knox and some lottery-protected pick from the Knicks that comes from the Hornets. So the Hawks once again are in flux. So did the trade yesterday sort of provide a kick in the butt to their players that, hey, no one is safe here. We're number 12 in the East and we got to get going. So I am curious to see, number one, does that evoke a response from the Hawks, Big O? Or number two, does every player say, well, I'm out the door next. Why should I give everything to this team? There's been John Collins rumors going to the 76ers for Simmons. So you have that possibility there. There have been other talks, DeAndre Hunter and some of the other players in trade talks. I am curious to see where the Hawks' heads are now. It'll be a fascinating back-to-back. Hawks 8 p.m. tonight at FTX Arena, 76ers 8 p.m. Saturday night at FTX Arena.
What'd you think of that Cam Reddish move? Is that and maybe Heat fans going, hey, we couldn't get a part of that? What's up with that?
No, you know what? I think there was a Heat angle in that, Big O, but I look at it this way. The Heat don't give a rat's ass about draft choices. They throw them out. As a matter of fact, I think right now in front of Accurate Pembroke Pines, Pat Riley's handing out draft choices to anyone who comes in for a test drive. I believe that's the special this month.
You get a draft choice, and you get a draft choice.
Take a test drive, and one of our new 2022 Acuras will give you a Miami Heat draft choice. Atlanta's had, look at all the guys Atlanta's had. They've had Reddish, they've had Hunter, they've had Kevin Huerter. You can collect all the draft choices you want, but unless you make something out of them, unless you develop something, I could almost match up a Heat developmental player, Max Strus for Cam Reddish, go down the line of who the Heat have developed. So you have these teams, and Big O, here's one more thing. Good talking point for you. The Atlanta Hawks in a draft a couple of years ago had a chance to draft Luka Doncic. Instead, the Dallas Mavericks said, we will swap draft choices with you, positions, and give you a future pick. So Atlanta moved down 2 spots, took Trae Young instead of Luka Doncic after the trade, and the extra player who was the throw-in, Cam Reddish. So they made nothing out of the deal except offloading him. So sometimes you act like the smartest person in the room. We got 2 first-round draft choices. Well, who would you rather have right now, Big O? I'm going to put you on the spot here. Would you rather have Luka Doncic or Trae Young and Cam Reddish?
I'm going Luka all the way.
Yeah. So I think the Reddish thing was sort of, let's forget the memories about the bad deal we made and let's try to regroup. Atlanta has a lot of players. If you were to look at the Hawks roster and the Heat roster, especially now with the Heat shorthanded, you might go with the Hawks because of potential. Well, like you often say, F potential. Potential doesn't win games. Quality development wins games. Upper hand, advantage, Pat Riley. Again, I believe until 5 o'clock, Accurate Pembroke Pines, you take a test drive there in one of the new 2022s, you get a Heat second-round pick. You can't go wrong.
I love it. Yurtseven's development. Talk to me a little bit about where they want to take him once Dedmon is back.
This is going to be fascinating, Big O. And I almost wish you were back in the old days covering the Heat as a beat writer, a beat reporter for QAM, and sitting there because you would ask these kind of questions. I firmly believe when Bam Adebayo comes back, which could be within the week, with Dwayne Dedmon back, Omar Yurtseven goes back on the developmental trail, plays when needed because of foul trouble, injuries, maybe back-to-backs, and every question to Eric Spoelstra will be, is Omar Yurtseven playing? Why didn't Omar Yurtseven play? Yes. And Eric Spoelstra's thought answer, which he'll never say publicly, the old thought bubble on top of your head in the cartoons, because he's trying to win now. because PJ Tucker's 36, because Kyle Lowry's 35, because almost every other veteran on the roster is 32. God bless the Big O, Turk Nowitzki, whatever you want to call him. His time will come. Dwayne Dedmon's on a 1-year contract. He likely will be gone next season. That chance will be there. This is the win now Heat. Dwayne Dedmon is a quality backup center. And that's a role you have to learn, that you're only getting 15 minutes. You bust your ass when you're out there. You pick up your 5 fouls. It doesn't matter. It's a role. Omar Yurtseven has not been cast in that role. Omar Yurtseven has played more minutes as a starter than he has as a reserve. It's been all or nothing. That's something you have to learn to join the game in motion. Omar Yurtseven likes his touches. Omar Yurtseven likes to be involved. That won't happen when Bam Adebayo's back, when Jimmy Butler is handling. It's going to be really interesting. Believe me, twice a week in our Accurate Pembroke Pines reports, you will ask me, Ira, Omar Yurtseven didn't play. Dwayne Dedmon was 1 for 4. What is Spo thinking? It's a fun little argument for people like us. And I will tell you the answers then, just as I'm telling you now, Big O. If they're winning, that's all Erik Spoelstra cares about. God bless Omer for what he's done. His time will come. Hassan Whiteside had to wait for his time to come, and he was getting persnickety about all that also. But right now, this is win now mode. What Omar Yurtseven did is exactly what you want from a developmental process. He bridged the injury gap until you got back to your full team. People, don't forget how good the Heat were also at the start of the season, when Markieff Morris was playing, when Jimmy Butler was playing, when Bam was playing. That's the team. That's the 2021-22 Miami Heat.
Yeah, but this is pretty damn good, man.
It is fun.
Holy crap, man. This is pretty damn good. Now, everything you said is 100% accurate. But to have a little fun and to play a little devil's advocate and just to kind of play, counter in the middle of a game,
sure.
If I'm in a little bit more of a slower pace game, half-court style, I'm comfortable with Dedmon. But if I'm in a faster pace game where I might be running the court a little bit more, I might be a little bit more comfortable with Yurtseven. So is that something that could alter it a little bit for Spo, that he says, you know what, maybe I need a little bit more of the athleticism out there with Yurtseven than I do with Dedmon?
I would put it this way. There's about 100 touches or 100 possessions in an NBA game if you're playing in a good fluidity, not a lot of free throws. I would say more of how many scoring offensive-minded possessions do you need? In other words, if Jimmy isn't playing, if you don't have offensive-minded players out there, then you probably want Yurtseven. He's a numbers guy. He has gotten the double-doubles. I run offense through Omer. I never run offense through Dwayne Dedmon.
No. I'm not saying running offense, but if you're running and if Jimmy's shooting, you need somebody getting those misses. I'm just saying.
And then that's a good point. And I would say this also is the Heat have to decide what their style is. Right now, it's been a three-point-a-thon. Since December, this has been a lights-out, Golden State Warriors-like NBA three-point shooting team, what the Heat have done. But before that, with Bam and with Jimmy, they're a half-court-based offense. So when people talk about what are the Heat going to be, Erik Spoelstra has to recalibrate. Do you bring some of this style in when Bam and Jimmy come back, or do you go back to the proven 2020 NBA Finals style? It's going to be interesting as we head to that February 10th NBA trading deadline to see what the Heat might be or might not be. I agree.
And then the other part of the equation, once you get healthy and you're so damn deep, it's almost deciding who do you go to in the bench depending on what you need.
Absolutely.
I think that part of the equation, when we get to that whole 8-man rotation thing, it might be an odd rotation night to night. It might be 8 because of the way it went, but it might be 9 or 10 because of certain matchups that you had to adjust to.
Well, and again, I believe that Duncan Robinson will move back in the starting lineup for this reason. When Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler were playing, Duncan Robinson had 2 great years alongside of them. I mean, he just plays well with them. So again, I'm going to throw this to you. I threw it to Clay Ferraro on our Wednesday show also. Let's go back to the Heat traditional starting lineup of Bam Adebayo, PJ Tucker, Duncan Robinson, Jimmy Butler, and Kyle Lowry. So that's our 5. So at the start of the season, the next 3 off the bench were a given. It was going to be Tyler Hero, Markieff Morris, and Dwayne Dedmon, a guard, a forward, a center. I'm not so sure about Markieff Morris anymore. He's only played 10 games. That doesn't mean he can't come back. He'll have his time. He should be back relatively soon. But I've got to get Caleb Martin in there because he's good and he's a two-way player and he gives guys time off the bench. And let me ask you this, Big O. Can you summarily, we're talking about Omer Yurtseven, but can you summarily just not play Max Strus after what he's done?
No.
Doesn't he deserve some minutes?
No, definitely not. Because when you see, there's going to be times where I would put Strus and Duncan out there just to stretch the hell out of the floor and drive defenses crazy.
Okay, and
Lowry would have a field day with things like that.
And that's my point. So if I'm giving you Dedmon, Hero, and Markieff as the next three, and we both agree you've got to find time for Strus and Martin, we're up to 10. We haven't even mentioned Omer Yurtseven again, and then the elephant in the room. Because if Victor Oladipo comes back, he's not coming back as an 11th man. He's coming back as a 7th man at the least. So these are going to be interesting questions.
They got a shot at the title. They got a shot at the title. I'm telling you.
Is you on the Accurate Pembroke Pines reports on Monday and Fridays, and with Clay on our Sloman's Home Shields show on Wednesdays, are going to keep asking me about who didn't play? And as Eric Spoelstra will say, that's a first world problem. That's a rich people problem.
If you lose, that'll be an issue. If you win, it's petty for us to worry about who didn't play or whatever. Obviously, you press the right buttons. You know what I'm saying?
But petty's pretty damn good for radio, whether it's terrestrial or otherwise. So we will talk about it. This is fun. This is not talking about who the hell are the Dolphins going to play in their offensive line because everyone sucks. This is not talking about the Marlins just traded their entire starting outfield by midseason. Now who do they play? This is a wealth of contributing riches. Matter of fact, Big O, it's funny. We just did this whole 2 or 3 minutes here. I didn't mention another name who I think you would agree has grown into a quality NBA player. Who haven't we spoken about? Can you think about it quick? I'm putting you on the spot.
Gabe Vincent.
Gabe Vincent. So there's another guy who was terrific in Atlanta on Wednesday, played the fourth quarter, even when it got close. So if you put him in there, and then you have 13 guys, basically the only 2 guys in this rotation, in this roster right now, who I think are put to the side are Udonis Haslem, coach on the bench, and probably Casey Okpala because he's either injured or just not good enough. But you have about 13 deep to play with. It is a fascinating case study of how Eric Spoelstra plays this out.
All right, I'll let you go with this. The other thing that I've been so impressed with is Yurtseven, the facilitator. His awareness on the court. I love it. And in a way, as hopefully he sharpens the rest of his game, he becomes very Bam-like, actually, in a way, because he can do he rebounds like a monster and he facilitates like a monster and he has that awareness like Bam. And to me, I've watched the Kevin Willises of the world and the Whitesides of the world over the years on this team.
Even Alonzo Mourning never passed the ball. Yeah,
but hell, he's so effective in the post, and I could live with that part with Zoe. The other guys, but I could live with Zoe at least in that sense. But I just love the maturity and the awareness of him with the ball, that he is so willing to set up his teammates.
And that shows he's a very, very bright young man. Yeah, and that shows that he sits and he studied what Bam does. He knows the team style. He's willing to give up the rock. When you give up the rock, you get the rock. And players who learn that become better players. When you don't give up the rock, you don't get the rock as much. And then Hassan Whiteside complains about touches. That's the difference. He's learned how to share and be a good friend. And that has your teammates embracing you. Even the other day, he had a 6 assist. I didn't even notice till I looked at the box score. He is becoming a team player, someone you want out there. Again, difficult decisions. Eric Spoelstra calls them, first world rich people problems, but he's glad to have them. It's going to be a really interesting second half of the season. Starting tonight against the Hawks, 25 of the final 41 at home. I'll be with this backdrop a lot of times and not the bad curtains in the hotel in Atlanta when we do these reports twice a week on Accurate Pembroke Pines reports. So it'll be interesting. This is the time to make hay. We now have Dwayne Dedmon back. We're getting Jimmy Butler probably this weekend. Bam Adebayo within a week. Then it is go time. And all of a sudden, 3rd place in the East, couple of games out of 1st place, a really good spot to reset and restart the season.
I tell you, you missed those days of the black hole. Kevin Willis. Once it went in, it was like the Roach Motel. It never went out again. That's amazing. All right, follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. And of course, you can catch him here multiple times a week with the Acura Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA Report. And on Wednesdays, baby, it's the Slomans Home Security Inside the Paint Show. Ira, thank you, my friend. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the basketball.
Remember, test drive today, get a Heat second-round pick. Thank you, Big O.
There you go. All right, Ira Winderman and the Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat Report.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All righty, there we go. Thank you all out there. Thanks to Ira Winderman as always. And by the way, we told you about Sloman's Home Security, which on Wednesdays they do it. Well, Sloman's Home Security, folks, listen, right now, 1-800-ALARM-ME. The first 40 Big O listeners will get a free doorbell camera from Sloman's Home Security. They do a great job. Do what we do in the Alzigari household. Protect your family. Protect your business. Sloman's Home Shield. That's what it's all about right now. Listen, really simple, folks. First 40 Big O listeners who dial 1-800-ALARM-ME for a limited time offer right now will get a free doorbell camera. It connects to your smartphone with the Sloman's Home Shield. And, of course, we're also going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you're getting an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 3 arm doors, and a backup battery, and it is so easy to use. I'm telling you, you're going to love being able to keep up with everything. I've got my family. I've got my dogs. I got to make sure I keep up with everything, and I get to do it with 1-800-ALARM-ME. You can do it too. Get your free doorbell camera. You're going to love it, man. Keep your family safe. Keep your pets safe. Keep your business safe. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME, and when you call them, you tell them that Big O sent you, and I promise you Sloman's is going to take care of you. They are a fantastic company. We're looking forward to it. We're going to be broadcasting live from the Sloman's home headquarters in Long Island, so we'll be going up to New York for Sloman's Home Shield. 1-800-ALARM-ME. By the way, Sean, we're going to meet up with folks out there, all those of you that live in New York, okay? We haven't given you the date yet when we're going for that weekend up there, because we're going to be up there on a Thursday, Friday, and probably fly back on a Saturday, maybe Sunday. I don't know. You know, there might be a concert or something we can go to on a Saturday. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's a wrestling event that Sean has to drag me to. You know, I don't know. I have no idea what's going to be going on in New York City that weekend. But you know there's going to be something going on in New York City. So we got to do something, you know. Plus, got to hit a couple restaurants, right? Got to, you know, get New York City. So Slattery's, right? Is that did I get it right? So Slattery's is the Miami Dolphins bar in New York City. So apparently that looks like that Friday night. I don't know exactly what Friday night it is, but because Thursday night we got a dinner planned. But Friday night, I want to go meet out with the folks at Slattery's to see those of you out there that live in the New York area who shows up and hangs out with us. Either way, I want to go to a Dolphin bar in New York. That's awesome. So Sean and I will go have some dinner, and if you guys show up, that'll be awesome. We'll hang out. We'll talk some Dolphins, have a couple of drinks, and have some fun. So those of you out there, we'll hang in New York when we go up there. David Figueroa says, glad to see you partner with Perdomo. Oh, great cigars. Well, Perdomo's been, listen, Nick and I and Billy and you name it, we've been friends for a long time, okay? I know Nick Jr. I've known since he was a kid. So I've known the family for a long time, Janine, everybody. I've been a Perdomo cigar smoker forever. So it's one of those things that I've always been a big believer in Perdomo cigars, and Nick's been a friend and a supporter of the show. So he loved what we're doing, and he was happy to be a part of it. And I am ecstatic that he is a part of our show and our family. So there you go. And a 93 rating right there. What do we got? Longtime Marlins radio voice Dave Van Horn, the 2011 recipient of the Ford Frick Award from the Baseball Hall of Fame, tells me he's effectively retiring. Van Horn, 82, won't return to the Marlins and isn't pursuing work. He has a distinguished career called more than 8,000 games. Well, Dave Van Horn. All right. Well, happy retire. Dude, 82?
I didn't know he was 82, honestly. I didn't know.
Wow.
Because he still called a third of the games last year.
Yeah. No, dude, go relax. Dave, just go relax, bro. Go chill out, man.
I always had one issue with Dave Van Horn.
Up and away, the Superman call.
It's just he's very consistent with it. It's up and away. No matter what. Grand slam to win the game. It's up and away. That was my only thing.
I hated it.
My only thing with
I hated it because I always felt like he's about to say Superman right after.
Oh, I never thought that.
That's what I thought. It's Superman. It's like whatever. It's just
I loved all the calls just when they win a game, and then it's just seemed like
he had great stories.
Always.
That I enjoyed about his broadcast, that he had the great stories. The home run call was terrible.
Now he was exposed.
Love you, Dave, but I hated the home run call.
Is that how it worked?
Huh?
He was with the Expos and then came over with
with Loria. He the poor man was stuck with Loria for many, many years. Is what happened. That's his problem. Big O, why is ESPN blaming Chris Greer? LOL. Anthony, nobody on ESPN knows what went on with the Dolphins. Well, let me rephrase that. Most of the media has no idea what's going on behind the scenes. Okay? So everybody was caught by surprise on the firing. Were we caught by surprise? No. Were we the ones telling you for months that he was walking around acting like an a-hole and acting like Matt Patricia and Josh McDaniels in the building? I think we were saying that constantly, right? Only person on the planet saying that was yours truly. I think I'm one of the few people that may actually have real insight inside that building right now. So, or guessing. I'm just guessing. That's right. I'm sorry. I'm one of the few people that can guess correctly what's going on in that building, because I guessed correctly that he was walking around acting like an asshole. I guessed correctly that he was mistreating everybody. I guessed correctly that he was acting like Mr. Know-It-All. Oh, and I guessed correctly that they needed to fire him. And they did. And the entire world thought he was winning. And look, I give Marcel Jacques-Louis some credit, because he got a nugget that goes along with my information. That man wasn't even talking to his own coaches from Thanksgiving on. And they got better, exactly. I'm trying to tell you that the streak had nothing to do with Flo. But if you listen to the idiots on ESPN, they think Flo's the difference maker. They're wrong. You want a difference maker? Manny Navarro and our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report. That starts hour number 2.
South Florida's premier law enforcement agency is now hiring individuals like you. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department is now accepting applications for non-certified and certified police officer positions. Minimum requirements and qualifications can be found at flpdjobs.com. That's flpdjobs.com. Are you ready? The city of Fort Lauderdale is an equal opportunity employer. For over 25 years, South Floridians have counted on Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises for their roofing needs. In South Florida, we battle the sweltering heat, rain, winds, and all kinds of tropical storms. That's why when it comes to protecting your family, home, or business, call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com. 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411. And ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs. All work fully, guaranteed with the customer's complete satisfaction. A+ rated member of the Better Business Bureau. Licensed and insured. There's no buts about it. When your roof needs repair or replacement, go to TommyBButtsJrEnterprises.com. A certified widening contractor.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All righty, there we go. By the way, before I go to Manny here, just for those of you out there that keep going back to the Lombardi story, let me be just clear for you. Lombardi is a hack that has no real insight. He talks a lot of crap on his podcast. He puts out a lot of stories that are wrong. He had a trade for the Eagles about a year or two ago that he flopped completely on it. He gets caught with all kinds of bad misinformation. So I'm not surprised that he had to retract that story that he was talking about with Flores, because I'm sure it was wrong. So if you guys want to keep listening to Michael Lombardi, you can go ahead and do that. But I would tell you, you're listening to somebody that probably should be writing things on Facebook.
Wow.
Okay? All right. Now let's go to Manny Navarro. And let's go to somebody that actually is a real journalist, that actually has real insight, knows what he's talking about, not some hack that can't get a job anymore in the NFL, so he just throws crap out there so he can get some hits. Anyway, Manny, how you doing, my brother? You doing all right?
Doing good, bro. I've been busy interviewing people and trying to put stories together, and just, the usual, brother, just the way it always is.
I know. You do the real job, unlike Mike Lombardi. All right, so let's get into a little Hurricanes here. What has changed since earlier in the week? What are you hearing on the coaching side so far?
Yeah, it's funny. I talk to different people, and I keep being told, "Hey, we're going to be closer to getting an OC soon."
Everything's over. Nothing's gone. Let's go.
Mario just keeps taking his time, interviewing more people. Again, I told you from the onset that this was about patience. I went on vacation for that very reason, because I knew that this was going to take a long time. So, and yes, this is the first official recruiting weekend of January, and the contact period just started. So those guys are out recruiting. They're talking to 2022, 2023, 2023 kids. They're going to have their big recruiting weekend next weekend for the 23 kids. And there's still no offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. It doesn't mean the kids don't know somewhat of what's going on. I spoke to your boy Cyrus Moss yesterday, the top.
Can you dig it?
Great kid, by the way. Loves the outdoors. His parents, real athletic type people. He comes from good genes. And just an interesting kid. I'll have a story later on him, but he was saying how basically, they're going to go more to this 3-4, which is what we've been talking about a little bit, that, 2-gap type scheme, that's what Mario prefers to run. And, they're trying to get those kind of personnel here to play it. So this kid is expecting to play both with the hand in the dirt and standing up and rushing the quarterback. And his favorite player is Khalil Mack. So he wants to be just like him. That's the guy he studies. And
outside linebacker then. Okay.
He views himself as a Khalil Mack type player. So we'll see, Doug Belk is a name. The defensive coordinator from Houston is a name of a guy who I mentioned before about how he coached with Mario at Alabama when they were both, grad assistants or working on the staff there, and so they have a friendship. Obviously, Schumann runs that scheme at Georgia. We'll see which one of these guys ends up being the final choice. So the same names we talked about Tuesday. I haven't heard any new names yet. I just think he's continuing to go through the process, and he's also started the recruiting front. This is a big recruiting weekend, and hosting transfers. I mean, this is Mario's 24/7. Constantly grinding, man. That's what he does.
Yeah, no, I that's what I do. So
Yeah.
That's how I live my life, dude. So it's just one of those deals. So I can feel it. The fact that he has already, like his quarterback room is pretty comfortable right now because he's got a couple guys.
Mm-hmm.
Is that also why he can be patient in finding his offensive coordinator and settling on his offensive coordinator? Because it's not like he has to go out there and start recruiting the top quarterback right now. No, he's pretty comfortable at quarterback, and he already got a young guy that committed, right?
Yeah.
So he's kind of does that kind of ease the pressures of getting that OC in there quickly for recruiting purposes?
Absolutely. I think if they were in a huge position of need at quarterback, I think you speed up the process. But they've got two guys in there that are stellar. Jake Garcia isn't leaving yet. We don't know until after the spring. We'll see what he says after the spring. And then you got Ja'Carri Brown, who's been a leader for this recruiting class, the kid who's coming in from Valdosta, who's like involved in these Twitter spaces with fans, answering questions. Like all the players were on there last night between 11 o'clock at night talking to fans. So they're in a good situation in that spot. And I'll say this, the two areas where they're looking for the most help, offensive line and defensive line, the trenches, that's where they've already got assistant coaches doing the recruiting, right? He's got Mirabal in there. He's got Salavea. So I think in terms of positions of need where he's looking to upgrade, immediately he's got guys in that role. I would say obviously the one spot is linebacker where you still would like to get another great player. But they like Wesley Bissainthe. They're big on Chase Smith, the way he ended the end of last season. He was a freshman in the previous cycle, played well the last two games. So, as this thing changes, as it moves on, it'll be an interesting story to cover. But I think right now, you're right. They're not in a position where they're desperate to get coaches in here. So that allows them to operate in a smooth way. And listen, I talked to this writer, Andrew,
by the way, gives you leverage too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leverage because you're going to have OCs that want to be a part of this now because they see that quarterback room and then they see the money that's being spent finally. And then it's already a breeding ground for recruits as it is. So you've got all the factors now. Finally, the University of Miami now has all the ingredients to succeed in modern day football. Actually, before they didn't need one of the ingredients, money. Now you need that money, and they're spending that money. Now I think they become much more of a desirable destination to coach at, with Mario bringing a lot of stability to the whole thing.
Yeah, now it's just about adding the depth of the players. In all honesty, it's just getting in more great recruiting classes, and a couple years from now, if Miami's playing in the college football playoff or they win the ACC, you got to give Manny Diaz credit, at least for what he did in the recruiting classes in 2020 and 2021. Because to me, he brought in good players. I mean, between James Williams, Cameron Kitchens, those receivers, getting Rhett Lashley here to get those quarterbacks, every program that ends up making it to the national championship or playing for championships, they always have that one coach in between who doesn't stick around, but he does a good job filling the roster. I think Manny Diaz, in a couple of years, that's what we're going to be saying about him, because there are good players on this roster. The question is, do you get that next layer to become Alabama, to become Georgia, to become that Ohio State type team that has enough depth to survive injuries and play for championships? And right now they have it at positions like quarterback. I think they've got it at safety, but they need more elite linemen, pass rushers, and linebackers. I think that's where it all starts for them.
I'll give you the example, dude. And this is what we're all hoping. I mean, not with all those championships, because that's kind of unrealistic. But here's my general point. Manny Diaz is Mike Shula, and you're hoping that Cristobal becomes Saban. That's it. Shula took you to one spot that he can only take you to. Then you got the real coach that can take you over the top. It's Renee Latchman, and then we go get Jim Leland. You know what I mean? It's Ron Rothstein, which I know he's still in town. Sorry. And then you think it's Kevin Lockery, the guy to take you to the next level. So you go get the more experienced guy or whatever and all that. So we've seen, organizations kind of do that in the past, that there's a guy that can take you only to one point. You need to go get that next guy. And that's what I think we're seeing here, where Manny had a little bit of some to him in the recruiting juice. But when it came to coaching and game day decisions and all of those kind of things, that's
and 4th and 14s.
Yeah. That's where he fell short. And that's where I think the organizational skills of Mario Cristobal are really going to come in and make an enormous difference compared to what we've seen here recently.
Absolutely. And, ultimately what puts these teams over the top is their depth. It's not even the coaching. It's how elite they are at recruiting, how much talent they stacked up. And that's the way Miami won before. Let's not fool ourselves. As good as Jimmy Johnson and Dennis Erickson were in their own right as coaches, Miami won because they had more talent than anybody else on the field. It's the same formula. The formula doesn't change. So that's why Mario was such an important hire, because he gets you to that next level in terms of recruiting elite players that make difference in important games. Not beating Duke and Virginia. You got guys that are capable of that. Manny Diaz brought in guys capable of that. It's getting the guys that are going to beat Texas A&M next year, beat Clemson. Those are the guys that you need on here. You need enough depth, and I think they're getting there. And we'll see what happens with the transfer portal. They had a couple of kids they hosted this week. One of them, the Antonio Moultrie kid out of UAB, I think is probably going to end up playing here as a defensive lineman, edge rusher out of the Pensacola area. I talked to his high school coach this week. Real hungry kid. He hasn't committed officially yet. There hasn't been any official word or declaration, but I think he's a possibility. DJ James, cornerback out of Oregon, who was a starter for Oregon, is another guy who potentially could announce here soon, that he's either going to Miami or Auburn or, so I mean, all these.
Tell that kid to get out of there. There's a whole bunch of homeless people in Oregon. It rains all the time. They haven't won anything. It's cold. Come on down here. We got sun. We got babes. And we don't have the amount of homeless people they have there. So come on. Let's go. Have you been to Oregon, bro? You know how bad it is?
I've been to Portland.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. It is. I mean, wow. I mean, it's bad. By the way, coaching does make a little bit of a difference, because I still haven't recovered from Jimmy Johnson not continuing to hand it off to Alonzo Highsmith and just allowing Vinny Testaverde to just be Oprah Winfrey. You get an interception, and you get an interception, and you get an interception. It's like,
well, yes, that's like a nightmare we all try to forget, right?
I can't forget it. I can't forget it. Well, I wake up in the middle of the night with sweats at times, like, Highsmith, give it a Highsmith. It's just like my wife goes, "What's wrong with you?" I'm going, Highsmith, give it a Highsmith. It's just one of those things. And she's like, "Oh, it's that game." Yes.
Yeah.
Calm down, honey. Calm down.
Yeah. Well, I think to get to that game, you need the Jimmy Johnsons, who are ridiculous talent collectors, and that's where Mario comes in. Yes.
Yeah, but Mario would have given it to Highsmith. That's the difference.
Mario's a running guy. He's gonna run the football.
Mario would have won that game.
Yeah, he would have. They would have won
that game by 25 points, because that's what you would have won that game if you just handed off to Highsmith, because they weren't scoring. Come on, man. Damn it. All right, what are you working on in the Athletics so they can check you out?
Well, I'll have something with Cyrus Moss. I did a top 50 player list, which should be posting some point this morning or early afternoon, just ranking the 50 guys that are coming back and with the incoming recruits, kind of to give people a picture of, going into February, where the roster sort of stands. And what else? I had a good podcast this week. I spoke to Andrew Nemec from the Oregonian, who covered recruiting up there in the Pacific Northwest for all 4 years when Mario was there, and just some good insight, man. If your listeners want to hear some good insight on the assistant coaches and the recruiting, check out the Wide Right podcast. That was good this week. The last 30 minutes there with Andrew. So just a lot, man. Just a lot going on. I mean, they've got visitors. The Grayson Halton kid out of San Diego, defensive lineman, 4-star offensive lineman Dave Iuli, and Matthew McCoy from St. Augustine Creekside, a 3-star offensive lineman, which I think they like even more than anybody else of those visitors. Those 3 guys are here this weekend, so there could be some recruiting news over the weekend if those guys commit. And then, like I said, those transfers, there's constant noise, and then the OCDC, bro. So, I'm putting – I don't write stories for everything, but I have a nice little section here at The Athletic where you can read all of my little updates. If you like bite-sized portions of insight, I will give it to you there. The other surprise could be that Osiris Torrance kid that I was telling you about earlier from Louisiana. If he comes here on Sunday – that's good news for Miami. If he doesn't come here, that means he's probably going to LSU. But the Osiris Torrance kid could be a really big impact player if they get him.
All right, there we go. Double entendre. Navarro's Nuggets.
There you go.
Anyway, there you go. Check it out. Check out Navarro's Nuggets. There you go. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. And, of course, subscribe to The Athletic so you can get Navarro's Nuggets. There you go. and catch him a couple times a week here. And you never know. He might be expanding here on the just never know, Canes fans. Something else might be happening down the line. Anyway, Manny, I appreciate you, brother. Much love as always. Have a great weekend, my friend. Thank you.
Same to you, brother. You take care. Enjoy the NFL weekend, man.
We will. You be good, my brother. There you go. Manny Navarro. All right, from The Athletic. Highsmith! That's our Caneswear, Miami Hurricanes report.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The Big O Radio Show is looking for an experienced salesperson in the radio or TV business. The candidate must have at least 5 years of sales experience in the broadcast business over the last 10 years. Please email your phone number and resume to BigORadioShow@yahoo.com. That's BigORadioShow@yahoo.com. Looking for an aggressive person who can help our platform expand into many avenues in our business. Reach out if you are the person that's able to make a difference.
All right, we are back, and we thank Manny Navarro for joining us. Reginald, thank you, sir, for giving us a little love on the Super Chat. Remember, you can make donations through Cash App and Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show to help us grow. Reginald says, Finn's staffer advised me Flo Greer-Ross met, and Flo said, you two know nothing about winning, and you are the one constant for the losing years. Coffin shuts. I listen, man, I know I can guess what's going on over there, and I've already guessed for a while what's going on. And in the end, I was telling you what the problem was from the get-go. So you guys could all choose sides and all this crap. Flo was the problem here. He was a major, major problem here. And I kept telling you he was the problem. A lot of stuff going on, and this is not – see, all of these people now are all trying to pile on, and they're trying to find info, and they can't get any info because the people that were doing all this stuff, they don't talk to people. So what can I tell you? All right? You can pick whatever you side you want, but in my eyes and in my guessing, Flo was the problem now. Now, listen, in the end, like I've mentioned the last couple of days, and Chris Greer knows this. He has to know this. He's a pretty smart guy. Stephen Ross is a pretty smart guy. Marvin Allen's a pretty smart guy. Reggie McKenzie's a pretty smart guy. They know now that, and Tua's got to know too now that it's all on them now. That's it. You know what I mean? And especially for Chris Grier, right? Because he has enough people already blaming him for things that happened 10 years ago when he wasn't in charge. So now they blame you for what happened for 10 years ago, what's happened the last couple of years, and what happened this year. So you've got to now go out and nail it with the coach and turn this around and prove to the doubters that you can win with a new coach and Tua and move on and make Flo look like what he was behind the scenes, a first-class a-hole. That's it. That's all. That's what you got to do. You got no choice. So people can come up with all these fake stories about what they heard and this and that, and all these bad connections and all this bad information that's being put out there, and none of it is accurate. But in the end, the guy got crap canned because he was acting like an a-hole and trying to take power when he was in the middle of a ton of bad decisions that he influenced. And they were all well documented behind the scenes. Every one of his bad moves, and the ones that they also tried to avoid with him, that they had to talk him out of it. Okay? And there were things they couldn't talk him out of. And that's where this whole thing just had a big old disconnect to it from the get-go. And why? Because one guy came in never with a collaborative mind. He always came in with he was the solution and everyone else was the problem. And the track record for everybody that leaves Belichick is what Flo acted like and was busted for and exposed for. Okay? So Flo is no different than Matt Patricia, than Josh McDaniels. That's just the way it is. Something or another makes these dudes confrontational wherever they go. And none of them produce anyway when it's all said and done. So let's just move on, man. But for me, I don't care about Flo so much. It's more about going after the idiots that I see and hear that know nothing about what's going on behind the scenes. Zero. And they're talking about it. And they're reporting it. And they're putting out false information. And then they've got to retract it like Lombardi does. I mean, that's, you guys want to listen to Mickey Mouse, doing football talk because he's frustrated because he can't do what he used to train for in football. Nobody's hiring. It's not like he's too old for it. Nobody hiring him. So he has to do this. He has to try to, and he gets caught up in all these things every couple of months. Just go Google it and you'll see all the other Mike Lombardi screw-ups. Whatever, dude. So the next coach is going to be a Sunday school teacher that plays nice. I mean, whatever, man. I'm not even going to finish it already. Susie says, this is nothing new. The same BS we've been going through for 30 years. Nothing is going to change with the constant rotation of staff. Well, what doesn't help is to keep one that's bad. So what's better, to keep Joe Philbin around another year? To keep Adam Gase around? Keep Sperano around? Keep Wannstedt around? You can't have it both ways. Either you get off the gravy train early, or you stay on it, and it's the same thing. So thinking that it was going to change next year, Susie, by keeping Flores, that's ridiculous. So they're in a position, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because normally they hang on to guys too long. This and the Cameron situation were the only ones where I commend them. They got rid of the guy. Like Cam, you had to get rid of him after that first year. And this guy, you had to get rid of him already. The place was toxic. He wasn't working with anybody. He wasn't even talking to his assistant coaches. This is why a couple of weeks ago when everybody was talking, oh, Flo keeping the team together and people talking it up, and I told you this was all BS. They hate that guy. All the audio's there. All the podcasts are there. You guys can hear them for the last 2 months. They're all there. Everyone, it's all documented. It's there. Joseph Blassetti says, Fins for life. Let's get Coach Caldwell here. Would love it. I would love it. Now, let me tell you something. Do I have time? I don't have time right now because I got Omar Kelly here at 11:30. I'm going to tell you something about the next coach I did some homework, and I'm going to break something down for you. We'll do it after Omar Kelly because Omar is set to join us here at 11:30. Cameron Wolf will join us at 12:30. Why don't we send Cam a link? Because I think mine didn't go through there. But anyway, so we'll get Omar Kelly now. But I'm gonna break down something that I want you guys to focus in on with what just happened now, with what needs to happen in the future, and we're gonna talk about it because I don't think people have done enough of. I don't think a lot of people locally, especially, have really delved into this part of the equation. And I think we're also early in the process. Maybe people didn't think about this, but I did, and I kind of delved into it and broke it down a little bit myself. And I think you guys are going to be intrigued by it, and it'll open your eyes a little bit more on the failures here and the failures you want to avoid in the future. Okay? So I'm going to show you reasons why it's done right, reasons why it's done wrong. And I'll explain all of that after Omar Kelly. All right? So let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Omar Kelly will join us on the other side. We'll have some fun with him. Don't forget, folks, Tommy B. Butts Enterprises Jr.com. Look, Tommy B. Butts Jr. is just a golden individual, all right? Just a really good human being. When you meet him, you're going to go, wow, okay, now I see why you've been in business for over 25 years. Now I understand why you've got a AAA rating from the Better Business Bureau. Look, if you want somebody working on your roof, you want somebody you can trust. I mean, that's what's going to protect you from storms, from hurricanes. That's what's going to protect your family, your pets, your business. The roof is so important. And if you're thinking of selling your home, or you're buying one, or you're buying a business or selling a business, you want to get that roof inspected, call Tommy B. Butts, JuniorEnterprises.com. It's really simple. 954-735-9826. That's 954-735-9826. And listen, they deal and handle all kinds of roofs. Okay, so they're experts in anything. They've got highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics, and they've been serving South Florida for over 25 years. So wherever you're at, tell them that Big O sent you. They're licensed and insured. You can trust them. 954-735-9826. Go to the website, Tommy B. Butts, JuniorEnterprises.com.
Hey, it's Big O. Protect your home the way we do with Slomin's Home Security, folks. And if you want some great news, how about this? A free doorbell camera. That's right. The first 40 Big O listeners who dial 1-800-ALARM-ME will get this limited time offer of a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your smartphone with installation of your Slomin's Shield. And that's not all, folks. Slomin's is going to give you a free customized home security security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you're getting an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 arm doors, and backup battery. Plus, if you're one of the first 40 Big O listeners to call 1-800-ALARM-ME, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Slomin's Shield. Keep your family safe like we do here in the Alzigari family. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME.
When you're ready.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The Big O Radio Show is home for the hardcore Dolphins fan. That's why we give you Omar Kelly twice a week. Buckle up. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
Gonna go to Omar here, but I see NorCal is wishing his wife a happy birthday. Rusty, happy birthday from all of us on the show. All right, let's go to the man, the myth, the legend that is Omar Kelly, who had some of his head cut off. Now he's trying to, there we go. He's trying to get a complete shot there. There we go. There we go. How you doing?
Hello. Good morning.
How you doing, man? You doing all right?
Yeah, man. I'm good. Can't complain.
Did you see the report by Marcel Jacques-Louis?
No. What'd you report?
Apparently, Flo wasn't even talking to his assistant coaches from Thanksgiving on. They didn't even know about meetings and times and what was going on, and that's how bad it was in that building. He wasn't even talking to his assistant coaches, and they were in a winning streak.
He got a little weird during the wins. He acted a little weird. He acted weirder during the wins than he did during the losses, to be honest with you. I think there was a humility that the losses caused, and then the wins just got weird.
He should have stayed away from the whole team the entire season. They would have had an undefeated season. You know that you would have been covering an undefeated team right now. If Flo doesn't talk to anybody, because clearly that was the equation. If we get no Flo, hey, we're on a go. But if we have to get an overload of Flo, we're done. It's over. That's it. The overload of Flo.
I'm not on or into or interested in the piling on at this point. Okay, it's you. We know the man's an asshole. Like and it just goes to show you. I was having this conversation earlier today. Do you wonder why very few people are coming to his defense?
No.
I mean,
no. Listen, didn't I not tell you for months what was going on back there? That he was acting like an idiot. That he was barnstorming through that place like Josh McDaniels. I kept telling you, go look, go see, go find out. I knew about all this stuff that it was going, because obviously I've been told about what's been going. No, I'm sorry. I'm guessing. I guess. I'm not told anything. I guessed about what was going on back there, that it was ugly. So I'm not surprised that nobody is coming to the man's defense. I'm really not.
I wish him the best. I hope for maturity. I hope for anger management courses or completion. I would like to think that he's learned from this experience. Now, the question is, have the Dolphins learned from this experience?
Boom. And remember, we talked about this in the past. Remember I told you how he had a lot of influence in personnel because he was so on top of these guys constantly. And the mistake they cannot make this time around is they made it with Gase and they made it with this guy. You unless you're hiring, Parcells and Jimmy
Doug
Johnson,
Peterson. Unless you're hiring Doug Peterson,
I'm not giving him personnel power either. I'm not giving him personnel power. That's my point. Unless I'm hiring a G, that if you hire Saban, you have no choice. Unless I'm hiring a G, I'm not giving you power. You can make a suggestion, but there's no more of this where I control what goes on.
But
53. No. You don't get to pick the groceries anymore. You just
that kind of undermines who Chris Grier is, though.
If Chris Grier wants to last in this job, he has to do it this way.
He's done it 20 years his way.
No, he has not. No, he has not. Don't be ignorant.
He's talking about in this job.
No. He never told Saban what to do, dude. He's not telling Parcells what to do. He's not telling Ireland what to do. He's not telling anybody what to do.
Stop what to do.
Dude, don't even go down that rabbit hole and fall with all the other idiots that keep saying, well, he's been here for 20 years. It's him. He's been taking orders for 20 years. It's his turn now. He needs to start giving orders.
My point, and I don't disagree with you. I do not disagree with you. My point is, and this is something that I discovered when he was initially given the general manager job, and I wrote a story on it, talking to people who actually worked with him, his peers, his contemporaries. And their biggest concern was, this is a man who's never had a conviction a day in his life. Like, that's how he survived. That's how he's thrived. That's how he's risen. It's, blending in, going along. And now you're in a leadership position. You are the head man in charge.
Yep.
And the problem that we have, and hopefully Steve Ross has had a conversation with him, you have to act like you're the head man in charge. You have to conduct business like you're the head man in charge. And that's part of the reason why why Steve Ross set up this. Steve Ross used to have a 3-pronged power structure.
Right.
And it always kind of fostered dysfunction because, everybody couldn't stay in their lane and one man always wanted power. Now, he created this structure knowing that Chris Grier doesn't have that kind of ego. Chris Grier doesn't have a power, doesn't have the desire to be all powerful, the all-seeing. He doesn't need credit. Okay, that's great. But now, after you've learned and experienced this with now 2 head coaches who steamrolled you, you got to have some convictions and you got to stand to them. And you are accountable. Like, even if you didn't want Josh Rosen, and this is a perfect example, even if you did not want Josh Rosen, you should not have let your head coach steamrolling you into trading for Josh Rosen. Like, why was your evaluation the first time so wrong, and then you see him as a rookie suck, and then all of a sudden you're going to trade a 2nd and a 5th for him? Like, I'm sorry. I know the coach wants him, but that's on you.
No, I know. And that's where if he wants to keep the job long term, well then, dude, fall on your own sword. Don't fall on somebody else's sword. And that's what you're doing if you're Chris Grier. So now the next coach, you got to make sure that coach understands that McKenzie, Allen, and Grier are in charge of the talent. They will shop for the groceries and you will cook for them, and we will do a good job for you. And you can make a suggestion, but you're not making any demands. And I think that's what you have to do with the next coach, because you're not hiring a G. Because if you hired a G, he would fire everybody anyway, because they're going to bring in their own guy anyway. You know what I mean? So you're not hiring a G. Make sure you hire somebody that is willing to work with you guys than making you try to take orders from them.
Yeah, they're all willing to work until they actually get the job. And then say, I'm not winning because I need the tight end who worked in my system for me back in Chicago.
Right.
Or I need, you know, this safety that played for me in or the linebacker that played for me in New England, so he knows my scheme, so he can correlate what I'm trying to communicate to the team.
Right.
Man.
Yeah. Right. So that's the thing. So this process, I am now guessing it's actually may drag past the Senior Bowl now, because I'm guessing
Senior Bowl's like right around the corner, bro. Are you thinking
some of the candidates are involved in the playoffs? Are you hearing the same? Are you hearing the same guesses?
Isn't the Senior Bowl like next week?
Yep.
Yeah, come on, man. We're not doing this before next week. Like, you crazy?
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Senior Bowl's in 2 weeks?
Yeah. East West and then Senior Bowl, but the back end of the East West runs into the Senior Bowl. It's really odd this year, dude. The East West, the NFLPA, and the Senior Bowl are all running into.
Let me get your take on this question, because you're like me. You love this process. Why doesn't the NFLPA Bowl let underclassmen in?
Oh, the only reason I would think is only because they don't want to influence more juniors.
They're already coming out.
I know they are, Omar. I'm not arguing.
They're already coming out to go undrafted.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you the optics of it.
So dumb. That's so dumb. It's the definition of dumb.
I know all the people that put all these games.
If you're the NFLPA and you are responsible for the workforce, why would you care about college football, number one? And wouldn't you, for these young underclassmen who are coming into the draft, wouldn't you like to get them an opportunity to showcase themselves in doing football things? Maybe Trill Williams wouldn't go undrafted if he had an opportunity to showcase himself.
They all think like you. I'm telling you, I know all the people that are involved in all three of the games that decide the players that come on. They all think like you, but because of the optics,
I'm just saying the NFLPA.
But let me explain something to you. Because of the relationship they have with college football, because it is kind of their minor league feeding system, and because they don't want to piss them off in their relationship, they don't want to start advertising juniors. Come on out, and we encourage you. NFLPA East West Senior Bowl. The Senior Bowl this year is actually going to actually carry a couple of extra juniors. So we're trending in that direction, but I think they wanted to like organically develop. They don't want to be the influencer of it. Kind of like, and I know you may not follow it as much, but in basketball, it kind of went that way too. And then the NBA finally said, well, we're paying in our G League $500,000 to any high schooler that wants to go. Why? Because the G League all of a sudden and the NBA started watching high schoolers leave to Europe. And they said, whoa, wait a minute. Why are we going to let them go there? They can improve our minor league system by adding those names there before they go to the NBA. And so it became a business thing. But the NFL doesn't have that model underneath them. So they have a relationship with college football, and not to ruin college football in a way, because then you start enticing juniors to leave, which would then take away from college football a little bit.
They're already leaving.
I know they are, but they don't want to be they want them to leave on their own. They don't want to be the ones that say, why do you need college? Come to us. You know what I'm saying? The NBA is doing that now because they were losing them to Europe. So I think that's all it is. If you grab any of the guys, if you're able to get to know some of these guys behind the scenes, have that conversation with them. And trust me, they will tell you what I just told you. It's the optics they don't want to be a part of. And so that's why they've restrained themselves from it. That's it. That's the only reason. They think exactly like you, Omar. They just can't act upon it. That's all. You know, it's just one of those things. Optics, bro. That's all it is. It's optics and relationships. All right. So talk to me. What are you hearing about this process, coaching wise? Who are? I know we've heard some of the names already. Is there anything else you're hearing? Any other names you're hearing?
You got 3 former veteran coaches. You got 3 supposedly offensive wizards and gurus. I can't tell you how it's going to go. To me, I pray and hope that they've learned from their past experiences with the multiple first-time coaches. It bothers me a little bit that Doug Peterson isn't on the list. I'm assuming they must know that they either know inside information about things that went on in Philadelphia, which I'm sure they do, since Chris Grier has a good relationship with the GM in Philadelphia, or they know that Doug Peterson has a job lined up already. Which one, I don't know, but one of the 8 jobs that are out there that are open. So
he could be an addition on the next wave too.
Yeah, right? But what's the holdup?
They know him. They know him already. Maybe they already have enough insight on him.
Yeah, Steve Ross don't know him.
It's kind of like the Caldwell thing that they know already.
Steve Ross don't know him. I don't think Caldwell is in the mix, and I understand why Caldwell isn't in the mix. Age. Steve Ross does not like to hire older gentlemen, so and maybe that's the same reason why Doug Peterson isn't in the mix.
Why wouldn't he want to hire an older gentleman? He can go with them to take advantage of the blue light specials and stuff like that. They can.
What do you think? He's Bob Kraft?
They can both go together. No, I'm not talking about an Asian day spa. I'm saying like food specials, like Denny's, 65.
Yeah, early bird special. Yeah. You think Steve Ross ever ate at Denny's?
Yeah, like in 1952. Yeah.
He probably owns like a couple. He doesn't even know.
He probably has a Denny's in one of his buildings. Is probably what he does.
Hey, some of his buildings. That's the one thing I have noticed. They all have like he's got partnerships, and I forget what Aquanox. Like he's a stockholder, I believe, in Aquanox, and Aquanox is in all of his buildings. I'm like, pimping ain't easy, man. When you're a billionaire, pimping ain't easy.
Tell you, brother. I tell you. All right. What else are you expecting them to do this offseason with all that money that they're going to have?
Man, listen, Big O. I'm not even there with 74 million.
I'm not talking about specifics and names because we really don't have all the information.
I did see Allen Robinson today on his media campaign on NFL Network, basically explaining why his season turned out as horribly as he did and blah, blah, blah. I'm an Allen Robinson fan. I've watched him work out many times here at Bommarito. I know how hard
love him, but too old already at this point.
Man, you're just such an ageist. Look at you. Look at you.
For a receiver, yeah. Yeah, I am. Yeah. I might hang in there with
what is he, 28?
Yeah, dude. He was not going to live out the contract. That's the problem.
I mean,
you might get one good year, but the bottom's about to fall off when you hit 30.
At this point, you've got at this point he's a 3-year guy, so
I don't know, man. And injuries, multiple injuries he's had.
Multiple injuries this year.
I wanted him a few years back, but now that the age and time has piled on, I would go in another direction. Plus, you did good with Waddle. Go draft another one, and you did good finding a Matt Collins off the street. So go get another guy in the draft.
I think a lot of that stuff is contingent on who gets the job, where is he coming from, what are his connections? Because this is such a connection-based business.
I agree.
It's about you go get Daboll. He brings Dorsey as this offensive coordinator, and then it comes down to who Dorsey likes, and then it comes down to what offensive lineman has Daboll worked with? Who's the Bills' offensive linemen that are free agents? Not just Daboll, but Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn.
That ship sailed for me, bro. Dan Quinn and Leslie Frazier, I see on that list. You can have them both. I'm good. I've seen both of them on multiple stops already as head coaches.
Dan Quinn only had one stop, man.
No, I'm saying multiple with all of them. I'm saying I've seen him. Leslie's had a couple. He's had one. I've seen enough from all.
I like Dan Quinn. I don't like Leslie Frazier. And if you just look at the body of work that he had, Dan Quinn's body of work is respectable.
Not as a head coach, a game day coach. He is terrible. His teams were streaky consistently. I mean, constantly streaky. I'm not a Dan Quinn guy. His game day decisions are horrible, dude.
I don't
horrible.
know.
He's a great defensive coordinator, just like Leslie Frazier. Those guys can coach my defense any day of the week and twice.
So you're not going with the defensive coordinator.
It's just I'm not going with the guy that I already saw in that position, and he didn't convince me. And both of them have the Richie Pettibone disease. They're just coordinators, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Richie Pettibone?
Well, yeah, I'm old, man. Remember, Joe Gibbs retires from Washington. Richie Pettibone was his defensive coordinator for a long, long time, and he was the man waiting in the wings for Joe Gibbs. So Joe finally retires from the Skins after winning 3 Super Bowls. Pettibone takes over, and he was a great assistant coach, and he failed and he flopped. And ever since then, and those kind of coaches, I call it the Richie Pettibone disease. And that's what Leslie Frazier and Dan Quinn and some of these other guys, Wade Phillips, and some of these guys that are awesome.
Wade Phillips had a couple good years, man.
Wade Phillips sucks as a head coach. Okay, he looks like the whale in the logo for the Dolphins. Okay, on the sidelines, he is terrible as a head coach. Great, a Hall of Fame coordinator, no doubt in my mind. But I wouldn't want Wade Phillips as my head coach for nothing in the world. Okay?
Damn.
You got to go back and look at it, bro. No.
Wade Phillips is 82-64 in his career as a coach. Come on, bro. 82-64. Not to say that.
How many seasons is that, my man?
God damn. Hold on. It's too long, too many for me to count.
Exactly. Do the math. It ain't that impressive. I'm telling you. He's not good. He's not good as a head coach. He's just not. It's just never been that way for Wade. But it's just one of those things. And there's nothing wrong with you being a great assistant, man. A great coordinator.
Well, he's been an interim coach 3 times.
Yep.
How do you become an interim coach 3 times? Jesus Lord.
You're in the right. He is the what's the name of the basketball coach we had here in Miami that he has been the interim
Billy Cunningham?
No. You're funny, bro. Autry got Gene, not Gene Autry, but it's with like a G, huh? No, not Upshaw. He's a basketball coach. Anyway, that guy has ended up like in 87 places and been an interim coach and constantly proves that he's not the guy over and over again.
Yeah. Wade Phillips is 74 too, by the way. He had some good seasons in Dallas before a 1-7 season where basically the team quit on him. But these things happen.
Yeah. Alvin Gentry. That's it.
That's what I was thinking too.
Alvin Gentry he's been an interim coach like 8 times. It's amazing. Look it up for me. Look it up.
I know Alvin Gentry.
I'm asking Sean. To look it up because I swear to you, he's been an interim coach at least 4 or 5 times. It's amazing. And he's been a head coach too. And he's just not. He's the assistant. He's not the head coach. And there's no shame in that whatsoever, dude. But it's just one of those deals. So for me, I've seen those guys already. I don't want that. That's why I love Caldwell, because Caldwell's been a successful head coach in probably the worst situation ever, because the Detroit Lions haven't won for 70 years, bro.
I do believe that he has the best resume. He does have the best resume of everybody in the mix right now.
He got Joe Flacco and had 11 touchdowns and no interceptions and a Super Bowl. That man's a badass. Caldwell, for me, is the best candidate that the Dolphins could hire. Plus, he will work with them. He's not that guy either. He's not a jerk. And you'll love him, dude. God, you'll love him, Omar.
I dealt with him. I had him, and he wasn't very helpful. He was all right.
What? Where'd you have him?
Here. You don't remember the 2 months he worked here?
You didn't have him. This is coaching, not what he was doing. This is different. You will love him. Trust me. I know people that have covered him. You will love covering him. You didn't cover him as a coach. You covered him as a consultant or something. He wasn't going to give you anything.
Hey, he was the assistant head coach and quarterback coach.
Yeah, it's just like he was like on the side hanging out. Now, if you get him as a head coach, trust me, and you get him every day like that and all that, it'll be light years from what you thought.
I don't know if he has the energy level. That's a good question, though.
I think if he's trying for a job, see, here's the thing. Here's the good thing, Omar.
66.
If he's looking for a job, then he's fine and he's got all the energy. We're talking about a quality human being here. We're talking about like when you talk about credibility, it doesn't get any better than that guy in Jim Caldwell. So he's not a guy that's going out for a check. If he wants to work, it's because he's going to put in the time. We're talking about a pro's pro in Jim Caldwell, my man. So I would trust him. It's kind of like the corner Minka's husband. What's his name? Come on, man.
Minka's husband?
Yeah. Is it Minka or whatever the corner that Jeff Ireland signed with the Achilles?
Brent Grimes.
Brent Grimes. It's like Miko Grimes. Yeah. It's like Brent. When people were asking me about Brent Grimes, oh man, they're signing him after. Are you worried about the Achilles? I said, no, I'm not worried about the Achilles. Do you know who Brent Grimes is? That guy's a pro's pro. Don't worry about him. He's the kind of guy that you don't worry about an injury or health because either way, he's going to play all out and handle it like a pro. So I said, he'll come back from the injury. And sure enough, he came back because you have confidence in the human being. That's the same way I feel about Caldwell. If Caldwell wants to work, it's because he's ready to go, dude. He's not coming here for a check. You know what I mean? So you want Peterson, I want Caldwell, and neither one is on the list. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I don't think Steve Ross has learned from his first-time head coach ventures, the 4 that he selected. So we might be doing it all over again, which, hey, your team, you write the checks.
Yeah, it is. All right, follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. And do like I do, subscribe to the Sun Sentinel so we can support Omar and Ira and all the
keep us employed.
Yes, Dave Hyde, all the excellent people out there, even though I completely disagreed with Dave Hyde's article the other day. But anyway, I still love Dave Hyde. Anyway, follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly. We'll catch you on Monday, my friend. Appreciate you as always.
Always.
You got it. There you go. Omar Kelly and the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Hour number 3 from Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines is next.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Omar Kelly. For additions, home remodeling, or custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
Oh, great. You got a doorbell camera. Now you got a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
No.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Get out of my house!
Ooh, Mom's jewelry. There goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Sloman's, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, a free doorbell camera.
Free?
One that'll actually work for you. It's not total security unless it's the Sloman's Shield. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. For over 25 years, South Floridians have counted on Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises for their roofing needs. In South Florida, we battle the sweltering heat, rain, winds, and all kinds of tropical storms. That's why when it comes to protecting your family, home, or business, call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com. 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs. All work fully guaranteed with the customer's complete satisfaction. A+ rated member of the Better Business Bureau. Licensed and insured. There's no buts about it. When your roof needs repair or replacement, go to TommyBButtsJrEnterprises.com. A certified widening contractor. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty, hour number 3 on the program. Got some stuff I want to talk about in this hour. By the way, again, I see Roadrunner says Stephen Ross needs to sell the team. When was the last time we went to the playoffs with Stephen Ross? It was 4 years ago, 5 years ago with Gase? I think it was. It's sad the front office don't know how to draft and put a coaching staff together. Well, I think actually the drafting has been a lot better lately. Alexander Rene Diaz says, I read an article. Apparently, Flo was not happy about. All right, so that whole thing about the work ethic and all that stuff, don't believe any of that article. Okay? Anything that Michael Lombardi tells you, do not believe it. That's all I'm telling you. Okay, I get it. You know, Joe has him on or whatever, and I guess he's part of Odyssey or whatever. It's a joke, dude. I mean, but whatever. You guys want to listen to that, you can go ahead, and if you want to believe that, you can go ahead. By the way, you can also go ahead and make a donation to the show through Cash App or Venmo. That is Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. All right, let me see here. I told you I wanted to talk about something because doing a little homework and the importance of certain things that need to happen in order for you to have success. And we've talked about it here on the show. So part of the problem with Flo was that he couldn't build a staff. Most of his guys were from like high school or college. Okay? And if they had any NFL experience, it was barely any NFL experience. And they might have only been like quality control coaches before they got elevated and they got here. Okay? Which is not the worst thing to be it's not bad being a quality control coach, but you weren't necessarily a successful position coach that you elevated, in other words. So, you go look at the playoffs. And, yeah, you've got your established staffs, right? I don't need to look at Belichick's staff or Andy Reid, older coaches like that have been in the playoffs, that kind of stuff. That not a big deal, right? But Nick Sirianni, Philadelphia, they snuck in, right? So Sirianni is a young coach. Well, he has Jeff Stoutland as one of his coaches. Been in the league for over 10 years. He's the run game coordinator and O-line coach. Joe Panunzio was here also. Also in the league for a long time. Assistant special teams coordinator. And Shane Steichen, who also worked with Nick, but he's been 10 years as a OC, worked with Phillip Rivers, all of that. So he brought in a couple of experienced coaches to help him out, right? And he's got a bunch of young guys too on the staff, but he's got some experience. Zach Taylor is in the playoffs, right? Bengals. So they've got Brian Callahan, who's the OC, and 12 years in the league. Lou Anarumo. Remember Lou Anarumo? Here in he was here with Miami. Defensive coordinator, 10 years. Darren Simmons is Simmons, yes, is his special teams coach. 19 years in the league. 41 years of experience, Zach Taylor added to the roster. Guys that he can lean on because he's a young guy. The Bills, Shane McDermott. Now, he's been in the league now for a couple of years as a coach over there. But he's got Brian Daboll, who's a candidate to be head coach. That tells you he's a good head coach because his assistant is up to be a head coach. Ken Dorsey, Leslie Frazier. Oh, my God. Isn't he on the list for the Dolphins also? Okay. Bob Babich, linebacker coach, been in the league for a long time. Rob Brooms, tight ends. John Butler, the D-backs coach. All these guys been in the league for a long time. Arizona's in the playoffs. Cliff Kingsbury. Vance Joseph is his defensive coordinator. The guy's been a head coach and is up for head coaching, candidate. Brenston Buckner, former longtime player, D-line coach, been a D-line coach for a while. Worked under Ron Rivera. Bill Davis, linebackers coach, 26 years in the league. Jerry Sullivan, wide receivers coach, was here in Miami. I know him, 26 years. James Saxon, running back. Us old guys know who James Saxon is. Been a running backs coach forever. Sean Jefferson, former receiver and receivers coach, was here in Miami, 16 years. Jeff Rogers, the assistant head coach, special teams, long time. Flo failed in every area. And by the way, I don't know what host was talking about building a staff for months now. I'm not sure. Before everybody else talking about, you notice how this whole thing is developed, right? Okay, first of all, everybody's blaming the talent. And what was I blaming? The coaching. What did it end up being? The coaching, not the talent. For months, I said, you got the wrong coach. He needs to get fired. By the end of the year, he gets fired. Meanwhile, everybody else is confused, thinking he was safe. Just saying. You got to do your homework. And you got to be able to build a staff. I mean, that's just, it's everything. Not only, and remember what I've said over and over again, it's not just building a staff, it's building multiple staffs. Because you're Sean McDermott, you're about to lose Brian Daboll. But he's super smart because he's got Ken Dorsey waiting. So who do you think? Not only, I hate this, by the way. I got to give the Bills credit. So their coach is smart enough to have his OC and his OC in the waiting. Meanwhile, you had a coach that couldn't find one OC. So you had to find the three amigos to argue with each other every 40 seconds on what play is going to be run. Come on. Venmo, Patrick Turiano. Thank you, sir. On Venmo, I appreciate it. He says, assuming he likes Tua, would you be okay giving up a first rounder for Sean Payton? They have an aging defense and questions at QB. This would be the time. Maybe he turns Gesicki into a skinny Graham and brings over Armstead. Keep up the great work. In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, I'd take Sean Payton. But I don't know if he wants to come here. I love Sean Payton. Got nothing but respect for what Sean Payton has done overall. CRS Collectibles says, we appreciate your insight and entertainment. Too many sheep out there, LOL. Thank you for the super chat, sir. Appreciate it. Let's see. Wasn't much of McDaniels at the first Rhinos, but looking at the facts, he's interesting to me. Oh, Mike McDaniel? You're talking about the guy in San Fran? Can he build a staff? Can he build a staff? That's the question. It's not so much do you know your position, can you develop and all of those things, but can you build a staff? At a young guy like that, man, I would be really, really nervous to do something like that. Now, if you bring a Mike McDaniel and you make because Jim Caldwell's going to want his own job. So you're going to have to get like a Jack Del Rio. So if you get a Mike McDaniel, you have to make sure you land the Jack Del Rio as your defensive coordinator / assistant head coach. So he can guide the young guy. And if the young guy falls on his face, you let him go and you elevate the experienced guy. So it's two ways. He can guide him and help him. And if he can't swim on his own, then he takes. That's the only way you can hire a Mike McDaniel. And he has to be willing and open to having a very veteran staff. Okay? Not that I want to go in that direction, but I just want to entertain for those of you out there that are thinking of, the completely inexperienced guy to become your head coach. You have to go the opposite route of what you just did with Flo. Jay Bala or Baya says, thank you on the super chat. He says, Big O, I'd love to see the future of sports organizations to become decentralized with governance tokens run by the fans. It'll truly be the smartest fan base since we pay their salaries anyway. It'll be, I don't know, man, because you still have to have decisions made. And I don't know if the fans make the best decisions because they get caught up in emotions all the time. So that's where might be a little dangerous. Now, speaking of crypto, let's do a little OK Coin crypto corner today, right? Did you see what happened to Floyd Mayweather? This is why I always tell you, and I always say, listen, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy that loves crypto. But I always tell you, do your homework. I always tell you, look at the market cap. Find out how many coins are available. Is it inflationary? Is it deflationary? Find out the people that are leading the business. Is there experience? Do they have blockchain experience? Do they have experience in this business? Do they have a resume from being in other places? Find out the partners that are involved. Find out what kind of money is involved behind these companies. All right?
because that's what these coins are. They're companies. And I always tell you, make sure, and this is what I like to do. This is why with the meme coins and things like that, I'm very careful and don't really delve too much into it. I try to make sure that the company has real world usage. And if they don't, then I don't invest in it. Because I know VeChain is going to keep, it's got the best inventory tracking program in the world. And that Range Rover and Louis Vuitton and Tyson Foods and Walmart and all these kind of companies are tied to it. I know that Cardano is going to be the banking system of an entire continent in Africa. So I keep up with all of these things and I invest in different companies because I know they have real world usage. And that's why I invest in them. You look at what happened to Floyd Mayweather. He's now being sued for hyping up a failed cryptocurrency in an alleged scheme. Mayweather is among influencers being sued for hyping a failed cryptocurrency investment. But that's because you see Mayweather. And apparently Kim Kardashian and somebody else here, Paul Pierce. I mean, seriously, think about those three individuals. Are you really going to take them serious? Do your own homework. Ladies and gentlemen, okay? Don't just invest in something, just invest in it. And just because it's Floyd Mayweather, he's getting paid to do it. You're not. You're using your hard-earned money. So the suit alleges that Mayweather, along with Kardashian and Pierce, were paid to hype up Ethereum Max. Has nothing to do with Ethereum. No connection. Mayweather made Ethereum Max the official cryptocurrency for his fight with Logan Paul last year. The suit argues that that thanks to the hype generated by these celebrities, including Mayweather, the price of Ethereum Max spiked 1,370% at its peak, while trading volume increased over 600%. The price of Ethereum Max then crashed 98%, leaving those who purchased the asset amid the hype and did not sell, holding worthless assets. So make sure you're involved with legitimate currency. Okay, by the way, our OKCoin link is right there on our YouTube page if you want to get $50 free of Bitcoin. And right now you can take advantage. There's some great deals still in the market, and you can stake it there at OKCoin and get some awesome deals. Okay, OKCoin, I'll give you an example. Polkadot, 15.7%. Polygon, 15.4%. Cosmos, almost 12%. Tron, 8.2%. Avalanche, 6.7%. Cardano, 5.8%. Algorand, 5.7%. Solana, 5.3%. These are great rates where you can stake and earn double. As your coin climbs, so does the interest you're gaining. So be smart, because I can always tell you what I'm investing in, what I like. Monero, by the way. Have I not been talking about Monero here? I told you about Monero when it was at $185, $190, $191. Well, it pumped up yesterday over 14%. And I'm telling you, Monero is one. It was over $500. Let me look at it right now where it's at, $226. It's up again today. Okay? So if you would have listened to me, you'd be up like over $30, $35 a coin. Monero is going to be very important down the line because people are going to want to have some secrecy on the blockchain. So eventually, Monero is going to climb. I like Monero a lot. Anyway, that is your OKCoin Crypto Corner. Go to okcoin.com. Go to my
page right here, my link on YouTube page, and you join OKCoin and invest, and you can get $50 free of Bitcoin. It's a nice way to start. And Bitcoin still has not started climbing. It's at a great price right now to buy. You see, it's at 43, I think, 43 something. Yeah, 43,200 right now. Okay? So take advantage. 43,000, actually just over 43 right now. Wow, $43,068. It's a really good buying point for Bitcoin. And if you're getting $50 free of Bitcoin, that thing was at 65. So you're going to get the $50 free right around the 43 price. It's going to go to 65 and more. So that $50 is going to turn into $100 before you know it. So go to our link right there on our YouTube page and find out. All right. That's our OKCoin corner. That's our OKCoin.com crypto corner. Let's see. Checking out says, I hope they replace Flores with Quinn or Dable. Keep defense the way it's built. Either coach can develop Tua, new line and wide receiver coach, dump most of the wide receivers. John says, how about Mike Tomlin? Come on, bro. Let's you know, are we doing sports talk for 10-year-olds? Come on, bro. The Greater Good says, I don't trust crypto. No, but you trust your government, right? Yeah, because, I mean, they're doing what's best for the dollar. Yeah, no, of course. The Greater Good, you don't trust crypto because you don't know anything about crypto. It's a huge difference. If you knew about it, then you would know it would be a great investment. It is the ultimate investment on the planet right now. But do you have to go into the right ones? Of course, just like stocks. Do you have to buy the right real estate? Yeah. It's all the same. Let's see, what else do we have here? Big O, was this the way to make money opposed to using a savings account? I heard you mention Omar. What was it called again? Oh, you're well, Vaughn, like, I'll give you an example. You could go to OKCoin, okay, grab my link, get $50 free, might as well. And I'll give you an example. So you got your money in your savings account, which isn't earning anything whatsoever. So now you can go to OKCoin and you get your USDC coin right there, okay? And it has 3.95 interest, almost 4%. So now you could get, let's say you got, just do me a favor. You got $100 in your savings account, or 500, or 1,000. This is what I would do. Just an experiment. Grab half of your savings, go to OKCoin, buy USDC coin, then stake it at 4%. Let it sit there. Let it sit earning 4%. Watch that account grow. Watch the one in your bank do nothing. And you're not taking any risks. USDC coin is backed by the US dollar. It's the same thing as having a dollar. And you can convert it to money anytime you want. And put it right back to your bank account. Zero risk. Safe. Go to OKCoin, download the app, open up an account, get $50 free of Bitcoin, what the hell, and then do your thing with savings. That's it. Don't even take a risk. Don't buy Bitcoin. Don't buy Ethereum. Don't buy Avalanche. Don't buy Polygon. Don't buy, Solana. Don't buy any of the really good coins that are there, but just buy USDC coin that is stable. It's a $1 coin. Dollar for dollar. And then stake it and earn 4%. That's it. Super simple. And get USDC coin. Don't get DAI. USDC is the one that you can trust a little more. Okay? So there you go. That's my little tip for you there, so you can earn a little extra money. Vaughn954 says, I'm buying coins too. Well, Vaughn, like I said, beginners, okay? Whatever your pie is, here's the way you can start in crypto. If I was starting in crypto, here's what I would do, okay? Whatever you can afford, all right? To lose, to invest, that you don't need for the rent, for the mortgage, for food, for your kids, never do that. You get the 100% pie. Whatever it is, $50, $500, $5,000, whatever you can afford. The 100% pie. 40% buy it in Bitcoin, 30% buy it in Ethereum, 10% in Polygon, 10% Solana, and 10% Avalanche. That's it. And just leave it alone. Don't touch it. Every time you want to put in $50, $500, break it into that pie and just leave it. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Okay? All 5 coins will soar. If you're going to buy crypto, get Ledger to own your own keys. Yes, I agree. Now, Broward, remember, once you stake them, they are on cold storage. So it's like a ledger. They can't get to it. So, so the stuff you don't have staked, put it on your ledger. You are correct. And, oh, by the way, the ledger, you buy it directly from the company. Don't buy it from a third place, Amazon, whatever, because they might be able to get the codes. So you never know. You just never know who are the employees in those places. So order it directly from the company when you get the cold storage wallets. Big O, you need to get into Terra Luna. I love Luna, but I didn't get in early, so I'm out. So I can't. It's too late now. So I like getting in early on an investment. Once it's run its course, like I didn't get in early on Solana. So it's already run past $100. It's all right. I'll find something else. All right, let's take a quick break. Give me 2 minutes. When we come back on the other side, Cameron Wolf will be joining us from the NFL Network. We'll talk a little Miami Dolphins. We'll do that next. For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. For over 25 years, South Floridians have counted on Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises for their roofing needs. In South Florida, we battle the sweltering heat, rain, winds, and all kinds of tropical storms. That's why when it comes to protecting your family, home, or business, call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com. 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs. All work fully guaranteed with the customer's complete satisfaction. A+ rated member of the Better Business Bureau. Licensed and insured. There's no buts about it. When your roof needs repair or replacement, go to TommyBButtsJrEnterprises.com. A certified widening contractor. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and Miami Dolphins with our Fort Lauderdale Police Department Pro Football Report with insider Cameron Wolf. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department is an equal opportunity employer. The department is now hiring uncertified and certified police officers. Go to FLPDjobs.com. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolf.
All righty, there he is. The Wolf Pack has been unleashed. How you doing, baby? How's the golf outing going? Because I can see you're in that golf cart right now. How many balls have you lost? You got to, I guess.
Yep.
There we go.
You hear me, Big O? What's up, man?
Now we got you.
Yeah, the golf round is not going as great as I wish. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Probably lost 4 or 5 balls already. So it's not going great, but it's Friday. It's a lovely day out. Play a little golf, talk a little football with you, Big O. Hard to beat that.
I love it. And I appreciate you. And I'm the guy that when I go out with the fellas or other people out golfing, I'm the guy's just shooting the crap, smoking a cigar, and spraying it all over, not taking the game serious at all. So are you in a foursome where you got a couple guys that are actually taking it serious, or do you take it serious, or are you like me that you're just out having some fun?
So I want to be really good at golf. I'll tell you that, Big O. I really do. So I do take it seriously to an extent, but I never get mad. Like if I hit a poor shot, I keep it moving. I like to have a couple beers on the course. I like to have a good time. So we're laughing, we're joking, we're talking Dolphins football. You know how it is. Everybody wants to know that. So I'm usually having a good time. That being said, I do keep score and I try to keep up with myself. So it's a mix for me. But I'm never the guy, I'll snitch on somebody. Adam Beasley, I play with him sometimes. He's the guy who throws clubs when things doesn't go well. I'm never a club thrower. I'm usually it doesn't go well, I just keep it moving.
I can see Beasley being the guy that throws the clubs. I can.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me with Beasley. I've seen him on the road. So yeah. I've seen Beasley unleashed there on the road. So yes, I would not be surprised with that. All right, so we see the list of candidates. We had Omar on earlier, and I want to ask you this: he's a Peterson guy. I'm a Jim Caldwell guy. There's also Jack Del Rio out there. How come some of these veteran names aren't on this list?
That's a good question. I think that list isn't final, honestly, Big O. I think that the Dolphins are going to take their time with this process. It's an interesting mix because you have like 7 or 8 different teams right now who are competing for a coach. So there's one thought like, hey, we need to hurry up and get our guy because we're competing with other teams. But then there's another thought, hey, we got to get this right. So we need to do this and make sure we take our time and do the interviews right. Initially, they were going to do both of the Bills candidates, Brian Daboll and Leslie Frazier, on the same day. But they ended up moving Leslie Frazier back to early next week. And I think they're going to try to do their best to have one candidate per day, which I appreciate because I think it gives you time to really figure out if this is your guy. So I think you'll see guys added on the list as they go on. I think right now you're seeing them ask for guys who are in the playoffs because you have to go through a certain process with the playoff guys. And after a while, you're not able to interview them. Like if those guys advance like the conference championship, you're not able to interview them until the week before the Super Bowl. So you got to go ahead and get those interviews out early. So I think you'll see Doug Peterson on the interview list. I'd imagine Jim Caldwell will be the name they want to talk to. So I think that both of your candidates are still in the mix.
And I think also they already know Caldwell. So maybe maybe that's like one that you kind of, all right, well, let's get some of the guys we don't know out of the way and find out about them, find out about these young guys, McDaniels, where he's at in his career, all of that. and then we'll bring on the guys that we kind of know a little bit more about, and like a Jim Caldwell, because obviously they already hired Caldwell, so they know they're already comfortable with him. You know what I mean? So I know
for a fact, Chris Grier is a Jim Caldwell fan. So it doesn't mean that he's going to be a guy who's going to be a favorite for the job. But I know Chris Grier likes Jim Caldwell, and like you said, that's a guy that he already knows.
I'm with you there. By the way, Alan Poupart just tweeted out a Tom Pelissero. The Dolphins have put in a request for Rams running backs coach and assistant head coach Thomas Brown for their head coaching job, source says. So Pelissero reporting that now.
I know Thomas Brown and his game, a very smart dude, guy who is going to be a really good leader. I don't know if he's fully ready yet, but I love that they're having a wide search. And that's my big thing when you have these coaching searches, have a wide search, have an ability to be able to, not really narrow in on just one type of candidate. A lot of times you see, okay, who scored the most points this year? We're going to get that offensive coordinator. No, we're looking for a leader at that offense, at that head coach position. So I want you to be able to open your mind up. So I like the Thomas Brown interview. Even if he doesn't get the gig, you're clearly opening your mind for different candidates.
Well, I was explaining this to the folks because some guys were asking, well, why are you going through these young guys that don't have a lot of experience? And what I was explaining, maybe you agree or disagree with me here. This process is twofold. One, you're looking for your current coach, but you're also expanding your search for future years down the line. So you want to see where some of these young guys are at, how they handle these interviews, what kind of connections they have, what kind of staffs they can build, what kind of philosophies they have, and all that. Because if any of them leave an impression on you, you weren't hiring them anyway. But 4 years from now, 6 years from now,
exactly,
you might be interested in that guy, and you'll go, hey, man, remember we had this guy in, Mike McDaniel from the Niners, and he was bright and all that, and he has some good ideas. Well, look, he's had a lot of success since then. Looks like he might be ready now. So that's what I try to tell fans, that a lot of these interviews aren't necessarily all about the now. It's also about preparing for the future.
Now, you're right on the money. It's about gathering information, like you said, and sometimes you're interviewing a guy and you think maybe he would be a great, excellent offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator. And you're interviewing this guy and you're saying, hey, whether it's now or whether it's 3 years from now, I'd love to see what his mindset is, how he would build a team. And then if you hire a guy like Jim Caldwell, sometimes you're interviewing younger candidates and maybe you bring them in and there may be an eventual successor for that guy. So it's a lot of different thought processes. You only have a head coach interview process, the Dolphins have had it a lot. So maybe the Dolphins have experience. But if you're a good team, usually you have it not very frequently. So this is your one time to look across the league, talk to everybody you can, and get different insights and try to figure out how you make this thing work.
Yeah, I did a little homework, and we kind of do that on this show at times. And I went through some of the young coaches in the playoffs. And Nick Sirianni has Stoutland, Panuzio, and Steichen, guys that have combined over 30 years of experience. Zach Taylor. Callahan has 12 years. Brian Callahan has the OC. And Arumo, who was here in Miami, has 10. And Sims is special teams, 19, 41 years that he can lean on. Sean McDermott. This is something you just talked about that Mike Vrabel just went through. Mike Vrabel lost Arthur Smith and had an OC.
And Matt LaFleur.
Right.
He lost Matt LaFleur and Arthur Smith, but he had somebody waiting. Exactly.
Bills may lose Dable, have Ken Dorsey waiting. So, so McDermott has two experienced guys there. He has Leslie Frazier, who's on our list. He has Babbage, the linebacker, who's been in the league for a while. Boris, the tight ends coach, and John Butler, who I know has been in D-backs coach for a long time. Cliff Kingsbury. He's got Vance Joseph. He's got Brinston Buckner, who's a longtime player, longtime D-line coach. Bill Davis, been 26 years in the league. Jerry Sullivan was here in Miami. I know him, 26 years as a receivers coach. James Saxon, I remember him as a player, longtime running backs coach. Sean Jefferson was here as a receiver, was here as a receivers coach, 16 years as a coach, and Jeff Rogers. So a lot of these young guys that are in the playoffs were smart enough to surround themselves with a lot of experience, guys that have more experience than them. And I thought that was huge. And that's something that when Chris Grier goes into it this time, he doesn't have to tell Jim Caldwell that if he hires him, or Peterson or somebody like that. But these other young guys, you can't hire these young guys without saying either you can bring veterans or we'll help you bring veterans, but you've got to have more veteran coaches around these young guys.
And look at why maybe some of the reason Brian Flores didn't work out. You know, we talked about that last episode.
That's my point.
I'm sure you talked about it all Big O all week, so we don't have to rehash all of it. But I definitely want to discuss the fact that, you know, one of his biggest failures was I don't think his Rolodex was necessarily big enough to be able to bring in a lot of these different assistant coaches and have them work for a long period of time. So I think it's very important, particularly for these young coaches, particularly for defensive coaches, because a lot of times this league is obsessed with offensive-minded head coaches, and I think defensive-minded head coaches need a better chance. But the biggest flaw for them is they have to be able to hire offensive coordinators and be able to hire multiple ones, because if your offensive coordinator is good enough, he's going to leave for a head coach job. So you have to be able to do that. So, yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge for a defensive-minded head coach, and it's why I think the Dolphins lean an offensive-minded guy this time.
And I'll tell you this, Quinn and Frazier, oh, my God, I want nothing to do with those guys. I love them both as defensive.
I like Leslie Frazier a lot, man. Leslie
not
Frazier
as a head
has
coach.
a good Rolodex.
Yeah, but not as a head coach.
I don't know about him in Miami, but I want to see him get another chance. I'm a Leslie Frazier believer.
Yeah, he's gotten a couple chances already, and it just hasn't worked out for him. And Quinn also, I thought he was a disaster at times. Game day decisions, in-game decisions were just, I mean, his teams were too streaky. I've kind of seen that picture already. That's why I love Caldwell, because Caldwell's been successful. Like, that's the one coach that's out there that you can hire. That guy had 3 winning seasons in Detroit, dude. That's 70 years of losing, bro. I mean, for you to do that in Detroit, you know, you should be in the Hall of Fame right now for that. Just that alone.
I'm a big Jim Caldwell fan. Made a Super Bowl early in his career. Like you said, Detroit, where nobody wins, being able to win with so many different quarterbacks. I'm a Caldwell fan, man. I'm so tired of people wanting you want the sexy head coach. Well, that's boom or bust. Jim Caldwell, steady. He's a guy where you have a good roster, which Dolphins, they think they have. If you believe in your roster, get a guy like Jim Caldwell. He'll get you where you need to be. I'm a big believer in Jim Caldwell.
So if he won in Detroit and Joe Flacco went 11 touchdowns and no interceptions after they fired Cam Cameron in week 11 and Caldwell took over and Tony Dungy believes in him, I don't know how much more sexy it gets. Oh, by the way, he can build a staff. He knows quarterbacks. I actually think that Jim Caldwell is the sexiest it gets of candidates that's out there. That's the way I look at it.
Right. And I wish people looked at it like you did, Big O. A lot of times people were looking, like I mentioned, for the hot shot offense coordinator. Like Josh McDaniels was that for a while. And I think people obviously saw how it went in Denver. Adam Gase was that guy for a while. There's a lot of these guys who come up and they're the hot shot offense coordinator, the next Sean McVay, so to speak. And for me, I want to see how you lead. I want to see how you hire a staff. And all of these things are you have to be able to answer. So I think that's why I want to see them hire an experienced head coach.
By the way, what'd you think of the nugget that Marcel Jacques-Louis unearthed that Flo wasn't even talking to his own staff from Thanksgiving on? And so that, and I kept, you know, when people kept telling me during the streak, what are you, crazy? You want to fire him? And I'm saying, you guys keep falling in love with this and you think he's the difference maker in the streak. And players are playing because they got to play. It's not because they're playing because of Flo. And that Marcel Jacques-Louis nugget, I believe it, by the way. And if he's not talking to his staff for most of the second half of the season, dude, that's scary.
Right. I don't know. I don't know exactly like the whole dynamic of not talking at all, but I definitely think there was a disconnect. I think internal, and he goes to people he trusts. And so I think the second half of the year, and he even alluded to this in a press conference, that he felt like he didn't trust some people in the building for whatever reason. So I think that you have to have that trust. And for whatever reason, it didn't happen with Flo, and I think that's a large reason why he's not here anymore. So, I think it was very interesting. I think that you look at the Dolphins where they are as a team, as a staff. You got to be a team. And it seemed like in the second half of the year, they weren't really a team through and through that organization.
Follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolf. You can catch him there at the NFL Network. And, of course, you catch him here twice a week with the Fort Lauderdale Police Department, Miami Dolphins, and NFL Report. Cam, try to hit him straight, my brother. Have a great weekend. We will catch up with you.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best, Big O, man. You guys have plenty of fun out there, man. Love hopping on with you.
You got it, baby. You be good. Thank you. There you go. Cameron Wolf, baby. Our Fort Lauderdale Police Department, Miami Dolphins, and NFL Report.
This has been the Fort Lauderdale Police Department Pro Football Report with insider Cameron Wolf. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department is an equal opportunity employer. The department is now hiring uncertified and certified police officers. Go to flpdjobs.com.
Friday. There we go. Appreciate all of you out there, as always, keeping it locked here on the program. Sean Stanley mastering this show every single day, audio and video, putting it all together. Like it. Appreciate all of you out there. Wayne says all the hate being thrown towards the boy Wonder OCs is kind of misguided because other than Staley, their teams are in contention and Staley will be next year. We shall see. Caldwell won in Detroit. Give the man a statue that's at least 100,000 feet tall. I'm serious. That man had 3 winning seasons in Detroit in 4 years, 2 trips to the playoffs. I mean, Dolphin fans would kill for that. 3 winning seasons, 2 of them in the playoffs. I'll take that. One of them was an 11-game winning season or 11-win season. Zach Taylor had his team hosting in the playoffs, and he used to be on our staff calling for his head last year, and now team looks like one of the tougher teams in the playoffs. Yep. He's done a good job. I mean, he's a fresh-faced kid, and it was taking a while. Plus, his guy got injured last year. They did a crappy job on the line. They did a better job. They still don't have a great line. Still, they've improved it, but not enough. They got to do a little better of protecting Burrow. You know, I can't ever wish anything bad on the Bengals or the Browns or the Lions because as a Dolphins fan, you know, I'm starting to relate to them because we've been so bad so long, just like them. And I'm happy to see them have success. They're not in our division, so it's not like, you know, I would never be happy for the Jets, the Bills, or the Patriots. Can't do that. But I feel for the fan bases because I feel for our fan base. You know, and I'm one of the few guys in the media that actually, you know, connects with our fan base. So I get to talk to them and, you know, shake hands with them and hang out with them and feel their pain and take their questions and their emails and their texts and their tweets. And so I'm constantly connected to the fans. And it kills me, you know, for NorCal, for all of you out there, whatever, Gorilla Luke, you name it. It kills me for all of you out there because I want to see them succeed. And in the same way, you know, when I see Cincinnati have some success, I'll be rooting for them this weekend. I hope Detroit has success because I feel bad for the fans. Because there's Lions fans that have been suffering for decades, dude. Sucks, man. Sucks. Susie says, no show till Monday. Yes, Susie. I'm going to rest. I need to relax, Susie. I need to recharge the battery. What else do we have here? Anything else that I wanted to get off my chest? Let me see here. check. Aha. Samuel, thank you, sir, for a little love on the Cash App. He says, thank you for information on OKCoin and USDC. You're welcome, man. You're welcome. Make some money, dude. Don't let our system kill us the way it has been killing us, because it's a terrible financial system that we've got going on. Doesn't really give the individual the advantages that they should have, and that's the part that sucks. Let me see. Oh, Venmo. We got a little love on Venmo. Let me get to it here. Glenn Hare says, Big O show provides more objective truth. Dable was quoted about Tua. Most guys have door accuracy. Few have window accuracy. And the really elite have doorknob accuracy. Then there's Tua, who has keyhole accuracy. Dable wanted Tua sooner at Alabama. I will say this, that out of the inexperienced candidates, Brian Dable is the only one that I would take a chance on. Do you know why? I think Brian Dable is smart enough. I think he'll check his ego in the sense of experience. And I think he'll be smarter, way smarter than Brian Flores, and will add a staff that will help him win. So if I had to pick one of the guys that isn't experienced, I'm a Caldwell guy all the way. Dable would be the next guy. Okay? I'll go Jim Caldwell, Jack Del Rio, Brian Dable. There you go. Okay? That's my top 3 candidates right there. And Dable makes it at 3 only because he's the one guy I have hope. He sees what McDermott's doing, the staff he's put together. He's done a great job with his quarterback. He knows Tua. He understands offenses. He's had to run different kinds of offenses in the league already. It's not like he runs one system that he's put all the quarterbacks in the same system. He hasn't. He's had different quarterbacks, different systems, and he's run them all. So he can adjust. So Dable would be my third guy. Folks, don't forget, by the way, to smash the hell out of the like button. All right? Very important that you smash the like button. Eric says, I see no possible way Miami fits Gesicki under the cap and re-signs Ogbah and signs someone like Teron Armstead, left tackle, and keeps X. Eric, I already said it. X is gone. X has been gone. I think I've been telling you this. Have I not been saying it like all year that he's going to get traded? No matter what? X is gone. Bank on it. Guaranteed. Samuel says, I'm watching your show on a 65-inch screen at the Marriott in Seattle. Awesome view, Big O. Thank you. Thank you, Samuel. But damn, dude, 65 inches, this face? Wow, you're scaring a lot. If it's out in public, you're scaring a lot of people right now. I don't know. Did you put an R rating at least before? Did you warn people? But I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Just tell them that it's early Halloween or something. This is a mask that I have on. That's all. Ronald says, Vegas says, Bieniemy, Josh McDaniels, early favorites to replace Brian Flores. So they're going to replace one New England guy with another New England guy. What are they? Okay, I'm sorry. Is that Vegas line straight from a dispensary? I'm just wondering. By the way, have they not come up with that yet in Vegas? A pot-filled sportsbook lounge? You got to admit, that would be a hit. You create a building with just TVs and couches, and then you only need 3 things. Well, 4. Okay? You need the one area to make your bet, the one area to pick your weed, the one area for the munchies and drinks, right? And then the bathroom. That's it. I don't know. Do they have that in Vegas yet? Anybody watching in Vegas? I mean, how have they not created a big-ass smoking football lounge there? Because the last time I was in Vegas, they have I saw a dispensary. I crap you not. It was like 2 floors, all glass. It was like wow, that's a dispensary. It was glorious. Irving says, look at Big O's face in any video quality. It's already scary enough. Amen to that, dude. You could not be more right, Irving. I mean, seriously. Oh, Smokes Sportsbook Lounge. Sounds like a headline to me. Sounds like a place I should broadcast from. Dayball, for being a first-time head coach, probably has the largest Rolodex. Well, he's bounced around, Wyatt. And if you've listened to the show long enough, I've given you my theory on that, haven't I? I've told you that it's good to have the coach that's bounced around. You don't want the coach that's been stuck in one place and knows nobody. What were you going to say?
Mid-2022. There's Planet 13 is going to be opening in Vegas on the Strip.
It's a weed football sports lounge?
Well, it's a lounge, and they've got a marijuana processing center, cafe, and a bar.
Okay, yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yep. Oh, that place is going to be jam-packed, dude.
It's called Planet 13.
Yeah. Well, they'll be on some kind of planet. There's no doubt about that. They're all going to be in space. They're all going to be on another frontier. They're all going to be saying, Captain's log. Or smoked a log. I don't know which one it is. Something like that. I would see. I knew that. Come on, dude. That only anywhere where pot is legalized and gambling. My God, how do you not create one of those things?
It's a 8,500 square foot consumption lounge.
That's it, bro.
Complete with a grand staircase leading to a 5,000 square foot balcony that will have a 4-inch deep splash pool.
Wow. You're high, you get in the pool, you get refreshed a little bit, you dry up, and you go get back and get high again. You walk in, it's just a giant cumulonimbus cloud that's hanging out inside there. I knew it, bro. Come on. I just thought about that. Okay, sports gambling, and legalized weed. How do you not create one of those?
At that point, does it even matter what the food is that's there?
No, dude. All food tastes great at that point. Why the hell do you think Taco Bell's in business? Because every pothead in the world eats Taco Bell. There isn't a pothead in the world that isn't eating Taco Bell. Because at 2 a.m, Taco Bell is gourmet food. Oh, take Sean over there. Of course. We're all going to be there. I don't want a coach that still uses a Rolodex. That's a great line, Eric. That is a great line, Eric. That's fantastic, dude. You are awesome. You are awesome. Big O, ever consider having a stash? No, just a stash. No, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. We are growing it back, as you can tell. We've already laid the foundation of it, so we'll grow it all back after screwing it up. And I do this like once or twice a year where I'm trimming and I screw it up. I had to shave it all off. But no, I'm not doing the mustache. I'll look like, it'll be like a porn stash or something. It's just mustaches are. It's very few people that really can really style the stash. I'm not one of those. I'm either a beard, goatee, or nothing, but not a stash. Can't do it. Not a good look for me. I mean, not that anything is going to make me look good, by the way. Let's be honest now, okay? Brett Dodger says, we love cannabis being legal here in Canada and no taco smell for me. Samuel says, I'm hitting that place when I retired. SoFlo wanted to draft another QB from Bama this draft. If you believe that story, my brother, that's the problem with Facebook reporting. Now Mike Lombardi throws that out there. It's a BS story, and you've got people that will believe it forever now, and they'll use it as gospel. Oh, just grow the stash and the flavor savor. That would be a great look for you. A Raleigh Fingers stash. Now, that would be interesting. Richard Jacobs says, in Cleveland, they told Baker Mayfield, we'll give you a line and a running game. And what is happening? I see him as a mirror image of the quarterback in Miami. Am I wrong? Yeah. Did Baker Mayfield win a national title? Did he? I don't think so, right? I don't think Oklahoma won a national title, right? Okay, Tua did. That's the difference. So, this guy's a much better quarterback than Baker Mayfield, my man. Much better quarterback than Baker. Baker's a tough kid. He's brash, all of that. He wasn't a great passer. And he's definitely a mediocre athlete, too. I mean, a police officer that was, a little on the big side, easily caught him. Couldn't run away from the guy. Good point on the stash. I don't look good with a stash either. Indian food is good for you too. I don't know anything about it. I do know this. We used to. This is kind of cruel, and I don't mean any insult for any of our Indian folks out there, okay? But you got to admit, there is a strong odor that comes with Indian food, right? So on 37th Avenue, right before Miracle Mile, okay, there's a Sears that used to be there. Maybe the Sears is still there. I'm not even sure anymore. Is the Sears still there? No, right? Sears is all closed, right? All of them? I don't know. Not all of them, right? That one's well, maybe that one's still there. I don't know. 37th Avenue and Coral Way. Okay? So that Sears that was there. Directly across from that Sears, okay, which is directly across from the Denny's. Merrick Way runs right through it, right? It's still there? Okay, so it's there. So there used to be like an Indian store, right? And it sold all kinds of spices and all kinds of stuff. And dude, when I tell you the smell in that store was strong. Okay. And we're like, 10 years old, 12, 14, 13, right? And we're biking from Little Havana over to Miracle Mile. And then, because we would do the whole thing, we'd bike to Miracle Mile, cruise Miracle Mile. Then we'd go to the Grove, cruise the Grove, and then bike back home to Little Havana and all that kind of stuff. So we would play the joke on each other, right? And we do, rock, paper, scissors. who'd ever lose, or we do a coin flip, who'd ever lose would have to walk into the Indian store and stay in there for 5 minutes. That was the joke. That was the kids. But what can I tell you? But man, I remember that store, and holy moly, that was a strong smell, dude. That was hard to hold in, I got to say. Is that Sears in Fort Lauderdale still there? Oh, the one off the curve of Sunrise? Yeah, right? Yeah. I don't know. Oh, yeah, it is open. You're right. Yeah. You know what I used to go to that mall for? There was a record store in that mall. No, I met Motley Crue at that Peaches. Skipped school, went to meet Motley Crue at that Peaches. But there's a record store that was in that mall that sold all kinds of, like classic records, used records, rare records, all that kind of stuff. I don't know if it's still there. I forgot the name of it, but I remember back in the day, if I wanted to find something that was tough to find or whatever. Huh? I don't know if it's called All Books. Oh, that's it? Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe that's it. All Books and Records. I think you might be right. But I remember going there a couple of times, and that was like a really cool place. I would spend a couple of hours there just looking around. Always would leave with something or 2 or 3 things. Baker's going to sign a huge deal. I don't know, Thomas. I don't. If you're Cleveland, I don't think you sign him to a big deal, my brother. I disagree with you on that. I mean, maybe they're dumb enough to do it. You might be right, my friend. But I don't think that's a good idea. Big O, what do you think of the article that Armando released today? I don't know. Didn't see it. I since he moved over to that site, I don't really check it that much. The guy he works for, sorry, dude. I'm not, We have 3 words in Spanish. Meao de gato. So, yeah, I'm kind of against that site. So, what else do we have here? The Indian place was called House of India. My buddy's parents owned the place next to Denny's, which, by the way, the Denny's, wasn't that Denny's years before Sambo's? Anyway, really, man, that was strong, the smell in that store, dude. It is All Books and Records? Okay. The Sears on 37th Avenue makes big money for parking, feeds Miracle Mile. How does Bitcoin gain value? What do you mean, how does it gain? Watch it. It's used to be $10 and now it's 40,000. What do you mean, how's it gain value? People are investing in it like a stock, my man. And it grows. Let's see. Dumb enough to do it for Baker and the commercial bonuses. Although the commercials are good. Okay. Do you think Jim Caldwell is on the Dolphins' radar? I do, Joey. I think he is. I think Peterson's on their radar. I think those kind of veteran coaches are on their radar, and I think they will be the second wave of coaches to be brought in. Guys like that, a Jack Del Rio type, a Jim Caldwell, Peterson. Those kind of guys, I think, will be the next wave that they bring in because those are experienced guys. So they have less questions and less concerns with those guys compared to the other guys. They're not done yet. They're just starting this process. Larry in Columbus says, why are they interviewing all these nobodies? It's the tough part about doing all this is it's not fun to kind of repeat yourself because we're on digital. So I'd rather have new material, but I'll do it for you, my man, because I get it. As I've said before, they're interviewing all the candidates. All of them are not for now. Some of them they want to find out for the future, like the Mike McDaniels guy from San Francisco. There's no way they hire him. None. Zero. But they want to see where he's at in the process of his growth. Because 3, 4, 5 years from now, if he leaves an impression and he does well, they'll say, oh, let's bring Mike McDaniel back. He has grown. He's had success. He might be ready for this job. But so it's more about, since you're not hiring him right away and this process is going to take a while, you might as well gather information for now and for the future. So that's what's going on. Okay? The increased demand and limited supply pushed the price per Bitcoin upward. Yes, that is true. Always true. And by the way, the exchanges are running low on Bitcoin. The miners have kept their Bitcoin. And right now, it is so oversold that it is about to explode. We're just waiting. That's why, if you're smart, what you've had now is an accumulation period. And I liken it to what we saw about 7-8 months ago with Ethereum, when it was stuck in 16 and 1700 and people were frustrated after it went up to 2400 and it got stuck in 16, 17, 1800 for a while. And people were frustrated, people panicked, people sold. The smart ones, they stayed strong. They bought while the low was going, while it was, trading sideways. And now that it's been up over 3,000 and up to +4, they're super happy. Same thing here. What this has been over the last 2 months now, almost 2 months for Bitcoin, it's an accumulation period. And that's what you've got to take advantage of. And that's what you have to understand, and do not panic. It's an opportunity, not a negative. I just hope O loses everything. I hope when O loses everything, he has to stay with us. That's a really good person right there that is hoping that I lose everything. It's really nice. That's really, really nice of you, man. That's just so wishing the worst on people. That's it's really a good person there, I got to tell you. Don't forget to come on out here, man, at Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines. They've got it going on all weekend long. They will take care of you, Larry Schlossberg and the folks. They are fantastic, great service. Terrific selection. So come on out here to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 and Pines. And by the way, whether you buy or lease a vehicle, make sure you tell them that Big O sent you. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button before you're gone. We thank Sean Stanley, all the great people out here, Larry Schlossberg, Pat Nasto, Tony Stampone, and, of course, Mr. Zinn, and all the fantastic dealerships here at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. We'll see you on Monday. Y'all be good. Love you all out there.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available, from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show. Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Lando, aka the Big O, he covers all the South Florida teams.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJD Construction